us. Foo Fighters, the Take Cover Tour. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com from Live Nation at 92.3 The Fan.
From the Kissling, Nestico, and Reddick Traffic Center, call 1-800-HURT-NOW.
This is brought to you by Home Genius Exteriors. Home Genius Exteriors. Roofing, siding, windows done right.
Lock in amazing fall deals for your new roof with Home Genius Exteriors. Get 50% off materials plus 0% APR and free attic insulation. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. See website for details.
Traffic is light 271 north from Richmond to Wilson Mills, 90 east from West 117th to Bishop, and 77 north from Wheatley to 90. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
1, 2, 3. This is where Cleveland comes to talk Browns football. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan, WKRK-FM, and HD1 Cleveland Heights. An Odyssey Sports Station.
92.3 The Fan, 2020 Sports.
A lot of talk this week about maybe the Browns being willing to trade Myles Garrett. Lost in the shuffle was his 5-sack effort against the Patriots last Sunday. Last night on his show here on 92.3 The Fan, head coach Kevin Stefanski on the effort from number 95.
That one's way up there because you have to take degree of difficulty into account because teams are saying to themselves, let's not let this guy wreck the game. So he's getting a chip, and then he's got to beat the tackle. To be able to do that under those circumstances is incredible. It'd be one thing if he was getting one-on-one blocks all day and a team threw the ball 40 times and that type of thing, but in the manner in which he got those sacks, it was pretty incredible.
Browns continue with their bye week. They'll be back in Berea on Monday. Get ready for the next game a week from Sunday at New York against the Jets. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson missed the last 3 games, hamstring injury last night at Miami. Jackson showing everybody he's okay now.
Jackson has not missed a pass in the third quarter. He is 8 for 8, and he's under center. The snap, a play fake, back to throw, in the pocket, dancing in the pocket, over the middle, touchdown Baltimore! It's the 4th touchdown of the game for Lamar Jackson.
Courtesy NFL Westwood One, heard right here on 92.3 The Fan. Ravens win it 28-6. Jackson 18 of 23, 204 yards. And there's 4 touchdown passes. Cavaliers center Jared Allen suffered a non-displaced fracture of his left ring finger on Wednesday in Boston. Cleveland.com reporting the injury happened during pregame warmups, but Allen still played, had 16 points and 6 rebounds. He is currently listed as questionable for tonight's game at home against Toronto. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
I wanted to make the change, and right now I'm ready to make another change. I full on believe that a guy who's a career backup can come back into the season. If you were to make the move to Shedeur, and Shedeur was either to 1, get hurt, or B, suck up the room, you could bring a career backup back in as a backup and have him play for a few games. Like, I don't think the door's just closed on Dylan Gabriel ever playing in the NFL once Shedeur plays, because I forecast Dylan Gabriel being a career backup. That's what they do.
Now, that'd be fair, too, to Dylan for the first time. You don't just close your mind on a guy 4 games in. Like, you don't just say he can never get better.
He can get better. I hope he can get better than this.
Yeah, because, we've always been saying, well, now teams have tape on him. Well, of course, he's going to also kind of learn the league a little bit.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You could always bring him back. I don't think it's over, and he needs a change of scenery after this.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Good morning.
Morning, Kenny.
Happy Halloween to everybody. We're big fans of the holiday.
Yeah, why not?
Did you watch game before we get into all this? Because we got plenty of time to get into all this. Did you watch the game last night?
I did.
How much of it did you watch?
I could tolerate.
If you guys missed that game last night, and there's plenty of reasons why you would. There wasn't a big college football. Well, we had Sun Belt action, Conference USA action. Maybe you watched that.
Deshaun Jackson versus Michael Vick.
That's right. Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick. I almost said Michael Jackson versus Deshaun Vick. Deshaun Jackson versus Michael Vick. But if you missed the game on Prime, guys, you missed a cinematic masterpiece. And the game was not good. The presentation of the game the cynicism, the sarcasm, the overall thoughts of everything going on. I mean, the cinematography of the game was unlike anything I've seen in an NFL broadcast.
Looks great on my TV from Extend Technologies.
And guys, I'm not making like a big like movie guys talk about, like, no, I'm not doing that. What I'm saying, the 1,000 shots where they showed him and then they slowed down his reactions to turnovers and bad plays. The Mike McDaniel, there's no other way to say it. The Mike McDaniel misery porn was unlike anything I've seen in an NFL broadcast. I swear to God.
For 3 hours.
I swear to God. It was, I couldn't take my eyes off it. And I'm watching this game. I go, I can't. They keep showing him. He looks worse and worse every time they show him. And I'm watching going, I can't. And like, they had a turnover. Tua throws this long interception that gets picked off. The wide receiver tries to catch the DB. The second the wide receiver tries to turn around to catch a DB to try to tackle him, he gets cleaned out by another DB. And they slow it down. They slow-mo it because it's such a big hit. And I'm like, this is Varsity Blues. This is the day after they went drinking. And they're playing the Thunderstruck and everything like that. And Johnny Moxon's upset, and Bud Kilmer tosses the clipboard. It was so well done. It was if you like watching a coach in misery, if you like watching a team in misery that isn't the Browns, and you wanted some Schadenfreude, I don't know how you say that correctly. I got to listen to 2 to 7. Yeah. I'm sure they'll do it. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
No, Al Michaels seemed bored to death during the time that I was watching the game. And Herbie was doing his best to try to make it interesting. But it was definitely the game where Mike McDaniel's like, I'm definitely getting fired. We had a nice week last week, but I'm definitely going to get fired. And I'm not going to hide my disdain for my players.
Yeah.
And he was just the emotions on his face. You could just tell he was going to blame his players for every last moment. I mean, you had Tua making every mistake. Now, none of it was as bad as Dylan Gabriel in the end zone last week, but he had a 4th down where he threw a fade route in the back of the end zone that didn't look like that was the play call since the receiver really wasn't running that direction.
No.
On 4th down, you can't really just get loose with the football like he did. You had mentioned before the show there were like 2 other instances where Tua took a sack, took a really, really bad sack.
A real bad sack. It was really... Guys, if you just want to, just go watch the 3rd and 4th quarter. Go watch the second half, and you're going to go, wow, they're right. This is really good television right now. It was so well done by Prime. Good on them. And it's sad, because, I mean, they were talking about he was the hottest coach in football 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Everybody, they wanted Mike McDaniel, or they wanted to copy Mike McDaniel. Yes. They wanted their coach to be like Mike McDaniel, and he just looks so miserable, and they slow down him looking to the skies, like asking the heavens for help, and there's no help coming. Mercury Morris and Larry Zonka are not walking through that door. I understand that Larry Zonka is still with us, thank goodness. I can't imagine what my dad might have been. My dad was probably asleep. My dad was asleep. I think his girlfriend has Prime, so he could have seen it, but my dad was definitely in bed. There's no doubt. He is like the bitter, older Browns fans that are like, I can't stand this, I'm done. He is like that with the Dolphins. He is really like, because the logo change on the side of the helmet, the uniforms,
it's all sacrilegious to him.
The lack of real quarterback play. I'm going, you and me are not so far, not very different. You and Browns fans are not very different. It's the same thing. Anyway, speaking of Browns fans, and speaking of the Browns, you want to go over this, what Charles Robinson said?
So I saw the quotes on social media. I heard the afternoon show react to this a little bit, but maybe our audience has not caught a whiff of some of the rumors surrounding Myles Garrett.
Well, so there were some people going, man, it's a waste. I go, I know, guys, I know. It's so prohibitive, the cost, the dead cap hit, whatever you want to say. There are a few players that it might work with, but it's so unlikely. But it's like once Albert Breer's not an idiot. He's in the know. He blew on the embers. When the fire starts up, I got to look at the elephant in the room. I got to address the fire that's going on in the living room, right? I mean, if something obvious is going on, you talk about it. And Charles Robinson, it kind of went to bed after what Adam Schefter said. And I think it's probably still in bed, obviously, because you're going to hear this from Charles Robinson. But you can't help but wonder. So go right on ahead. Here's Charles Robinson, Yahoo Sports, NFL insider, very well connected. 102.5 The Game in Nashville hit it.
Rumor going around, and I have not heard it out of the Eagles, but I've heard it from a couple of other high-ranking people in other teams that are clearly on the phones, that, Howie Roseman and the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett, and how he'd give up like 3 first-round picks for him, which, if it's coming from the Eagles, those are 3 late firsts. So it's like even arguable when you get through the draft process, how many first round grades do you really have? Maybe you have between 14 and 18 in a typical year. And that means that if you're drafting in the late 20s, early 30s, you're not even getting a player that's really considered on your board unless you're lucky. But yeah, so that's kind of like this rumor that's out there that, hey, like Howie would really love a shot at him. But again, I was told by the Browns, they're not interested in moving him.
3 firsts?
3 firsts.
Now, he's right. Like, again, you have to think about where those firsts are coming.
With Myles on a team, 32, 31, 32.
Say you get the quarterback this year. Say, guys, we just got to get used to the conversation. We'll see Shedeur. We'll see whether or not he's got something. I hope he does. It'd be great. It would be great. Let me before we do this, let's just go ahead and say, I don't think much of Dillon Gabriel as a starting quarterback. I would like to see Shedeur at some point. We've talked about that. I would love for Shedeur to change the conversation later in the year. However, we got to go with what we know. What we know is that he's behind Dillon Gabriel. They don't trust him yet. He's a 5th-round pick, so I'm to assume that the NFL does not think much of him as a franchise quarterback. So we'll have to talk about quarterbacks. When we talk about quarterbacks, immediately I get responses. And guys, I look at the inside out and I go, you know what? It's a great thing to be worried about because you're right. You need an offensive line. And then I think, okay, if you get your guy coming up in this draft and you have that 2nd first-round pick or you have 3 first-round picks, if you can get them 26, 27, 28, or even if you go, no, I'll stagger them, 27, 28, 29.
So it's like every year the Browns are going to have 2 first-round picks.
You got to execute them. I don't know the odds of you hitting on all 6 for crying out loud here, but say you execute them and all of a sudden you can get your offensive line. You can get your wide receivers. So you got to think about it.
We get John Dorsey back in this deal somehow.
However,
can we have him at least make one of the first round selections every year?
Well, you have to know this though. Like you have to consider if it's actually a three first round pick thing. You absolutely have to go back and go. I got to talk amongst the group, and we got to call you back because the contract's the contract. So I don't know if they can send anything back. Like they'd probably be willing to send you back A.J. Brown. And maybe you'd still get 3 first-round picks. A.J. Brown's not going to be not a very happy camper in Philadelphia. They just won a Super Bowl. I can't imagine him being very thrilled to be
happy here for like a half of a nationally televised game.
I can't imagine he'd be very thrilled. Well, we don't have any nationally televised games later this year.
No flex? We can't flex it?
No.
Maybe a team we're playing needs a game desperately to make the playoffs.
No. So you're not going to have any of those. He's going to if you traded for A.J. Brown, would he even play?
Would he show up?
Would he do like Antonio Brown is a wild comparison, but I'm not playing for you. It's not happening.
No, I think disgruntled wide receivers always in their mind are like, I could do this anywhere but here. This is the worst place in the world. Who, the team that won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they talk. Oh, you meant Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's thinking I could do this in Cleveland. I just can't do this in the team that won the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I think these guys get that crazy.
Look, hey, one of them's known for the tush push. The other one dropped a quarterback back 58 times in a game.
It's true.
If you're a wide receiver, which one do you want to play for?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, is he having a lot of fun in that offense?
If you're A.J. Brown, you got to think, they can't cover us both. I know they have Jerry Jeudy basically taken to the witness protection program. They can't cover us both.
Yeah.
So if I got Jerry on the other side, unless Dillon Gabriel just decides to not take his arms with him to a game, like you got to be able to find somebody, for the love of God. Even if you run a low crosser or something like that. Like you got to be able to find somebody there. Okay, so let's think about it like this, Tone. Let's think about it like this. Because now the bull's running. So I go back to them. I go back to the thought partners. And I say, thought partners, 3 first-round picks. What if I can get them to stagger them where we have 2 first-round picks? Because I don't want too many picks in one round. I know that a lot of people, you want instant gratification. I get that. I don't want too many first-round picks in one draft, I should say. I want to stagger them out. I want more so I can stagger out the contracts, because if you do this, you're going to have a tough time fielding a team. Like, you got rookies on the field. There's veterans. Like, I'd like to sign Alex Wright to a contract. I think he's played very well this year. I don't know, one, if I'm trading away Myles Garrett, okay, how good is Alex Wright to my football team? They're guys who are products. No offense to Alex. He's a good player, but he may very well be a bit of a product of Myles.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's tough. It is tough to break down individually all the other guys that play alongside Myles.
Saying that guys on the there's always like a Leonard Marshall for LT. Okay, so you got to have that in your mind. Neil Smith, great pass rusher.
There you go.
Owen,
it's a good
what's
pull.
Neil Smith? Neil Smith was great with the Broncos. Was he even better with the Chiefs with Derek Thomas? I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So do you sign him to a contract, or it's like, it's wasted money. I could get another 3rd or 4th round pick out of this guy. I don't know if I'm getting a 3rd or 4th, but I can get another pick out of him. Do I do something like that? Because I don't know who you can pay. Who do you pay? So now I got dead cap with Deshaun. I got dead cap with Myles, but I got all these picks.
Might have someone to Joku, depending on what happens there.
And you know this, and guys, don't get mad. We got it. If they have to consider it, so we have to consider it. You're right about that. Do I know making this trade, like, there's no way I survive this? There's no way. There's no way I survive this. It would be better for the future, but you're talking 27, 28, 29. By 29, you're supposed to be in a new stadium. I'm still getting 2 first-round draft picks. Now, by that time, you should be out underneath this, but you're in for some rough waters. Even, I know it doesn't get much rougher than 3 and 14 and what we're going through right now, but I guess
the only
real
question
rough times.
of all of this is there a way that Jimmy Haslam has told Andrew Berry what has been reported to Adam Schefter and the other reporters, Mary Kay, which is we are not trading Myles. It's non-negotiable. It's a non-starter.
It's no until it's yes.
But is there a chance that Jimmy Haslam is saying we can't? We took down all the signage of a player that we made the big swing for, that he's even admitting over and over and over again he was a big part of, and that it's the reason why this team is where they are. It's not because of bad personnel decisions outside of that. It's not because of bad coaching. It's just because of that. So we need somebody to sell. Plus, these rookies that have come in, they've been fun and exciting. But Myles is the guy. We were trying to sell Deshaun Watson there for a couple of years. Now it's all about Myles Garrett. So from an ownership perspective, we already are seeing the empty seats. We know the hostile takeovers are happening in the last third of the year, the last half of the year, really. So we can't allow that to happen. Is there any chance Jimmy Haslam has said there will be no Myles trade?
Let me just ask you guys this. 216-474-0092, because we did this with one player about a trade. We've already done this before. And it was like, well, you're out. It's like, make it happen. Now, that was for a current active player. Would you do this for the draft picks and go, it's just more responsible? Because when you were in 2015 and 16 and 17, there was nobody worth 3 first-round picks. It's difficult. Would you consider it? Nick Wilson had audio of it. We'll play that when we come back. You got to consider it. If it's true, they should be meeting in a room. I can't say I'd want to squeeze the trigger because you are in for terrible, terrible football. But damn, you got a decision to make. 216-474-0092. I want to ask you guys about that. And coming up at 7:20, new Kent State football coach Mark Carney.
Hey!
He's going to join us on the phone.
Hey!
Ken Carman, Toadmaster General. Happy Halloween on the Fan.
Anthony Lima for Fanatic Sports.
The Take Cover Tour. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com from Live Nation and 92.3 The Fan.
All eyes are on Berea. Will changes be made soon? When will Shedeur Sanders get his shot? Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Coming up at 7:20 this morning, Mark Carney going to join us on the show. He is the new Kent State head football coach, full-time. Going to talk to him. Looked at his recruiting board. Jared Luganbill showed 13 from Ohio. It's like, that's what you got to do.
Oh, I've seen the recruits at the games, and I kept thinking to myself, how is he getting players to even come here? And next thing you know, they've won 3 games. He gets the job, gets the interim tag removed. It was like a fun story all throughout college football yesterday. He was getting love from coast to coast. So I thought that was so cool. So what a cool story. So he'll be joining us. 7:20 today?
7:20 this morning.
Awesome.
Are you going to let him in on what you're doing right now?
I don't know what you're talking about. Happy Halloween.
Seriously? I hope people have went to YouTube and looked at the ridiculous nature that you're hosting this show in right now.
I don't think there's anything ridiculous about it, Owen.
Well, both of you, which one they have asked, is Lima a Russian truck driver? I've seen that quite a few times. Oh, you're the one up with that guy.
He's doing the dance. I can't believe you've done this many times. Do it again. Do it again for everybody on YouTube.
I can't do it the way. So I pulled up a video yesterday. If anybody's ever seen SNL, what's up with that?
Yes.
In front of my wife and kids, I said, well, I can't really do the dance the way that the Jason Sudeikis does it, not only in What's Up With That, but also Ted Lasso. There are 3 variations of the Running Man. So I pulled up tutorials yesterday. And 10 minutes in, I gave up. I'm like, it's in my head. I can't do it. I've done the Running Man my whole life, but I haven't done it right.
The one thing you can do, and you'll need to move that chair out of the way, but you can jump into frame like he does.
It's got to be there.
Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that?
We can't play the music.
Ooh-wee.
I need a chain. If somebody can bring me a chain.
What's up with that? What's up with that? I said, what's up? Sorry.
Yeah, Jim, bring in a chain.
Nobody had a chain for me.
How did Jim not have a chain for you?
No, it was too late. I didn't know I was going to do this because I'm like, I have no costume or whatever.
I was so happy I got that text. I go, oh my God, I think he's actually. I was like, well, maybe he's not going to do it on the air. Maybe he's going to do the. He's got the shirt too that Jim got him.
Too.
So I thought you may do that for Trick or Treat tonight and not do it. And then I saw him walk in and I go, yes. He's doing it. It's such a great tracksuit, too.
Oh, it's amazing.
It does.
But it just leads me to wonder, and we're going to get to what Ken is wearing.
Yeah, here in a second.
Man, I just look like how people dress sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
People just walk around and go to work like this. And I asked you guys off the air, cover the ears of the kids. I am not the most well-endowed individual ever. How do grown men just walk around showing off their stuff? How do you guys do it? How do you do it with no shame, proudly? Like, I looked in the mirror and I'm like, you can kind of see.
I don't think
how
people
do people
look.
do that?
I don't think people
a lot
look.
of people
That's all people do is look.
No.
Oh.
If they don't notice something, they don't really look. But if they notice something, like you can't, the outline, you can't take your eyes off it.
All I do, I know it's 2025, and after COVID, everybody just said, oh, we'll just wear whatever we want 24/7. Doesn't matter. We'll do it on airplanes. We'll take our shoes off. We'll whatever.
Well, you want everyone to wear a suit still.
I think it's nice. I think it's nice to dress up.
Go to the ball game with a suit.
Call me old-fashioned, Ken. But I look around and I see people. We're in Playhouse Square. People are walking to work, and it's just athleisure. Mm-hmm. They go to work like that, and I know they're going to work.
They're paying $130 for a pair of, tight pants.
Right. They're paying more.
Yes.
Than
it's actually.
These are not.
It's more than if they wore a 3-piece suit.
These are not Franklins that we're rolling into work in.
Yeah, it's true.
Although I don't do that.
Anyway, let's focus on Ken here.
Well, I got to tell you right now, I ain't going to have this get up for very long.
Well,
I'm getting warm.
It's starting to run.
Getting warm.
No, but this is even better. This is even better. This is like
I'm going as a radio show host.
You were always, when you were watching like Coach K, and you're like, I know he's got to be sweating a little bit. How is it not dripping down? How is the residue?
Well, he had good hair color. Yeah. Not what I'm doing right now. This is go ahead.
Well, I kept thinking to myself, I hope it doesn't rain today if Ken is actually going to do this, because I did not know for sure that Ken was going to do this. So I took a leap of faith. I assumed he would, but I didn't necessarily know. But I'm like, what if it rains this morning? What if he hydroplanes, gets into an accident? The medics got to come, and then they got to get him out of the car looking like this. That's all I was thinking about.
Think about that. I did it. No, I did it in the bathroom
the
here.
jaws of life.
I did it in the bathroom
There's
here.
14 more of them inside the truck.
It went very easy for me. And I'm getting a lot of people like, Ken doesn't look any different from what he usually does. And I'm like, that's a great point. I look like a sports talk radio show host. I have clown makeup on right now. I do look ridiculous. I was inspired. I went to pick up tea lights at Mark's, and I saw a wig for $199, and I saw a makeup for also $199. And I went, well, know what I'm doing on Friday. Here you go. So I don't know, but it's starting to get in my eyes. I'm getting warm.
The degree of difficulty is going to get ratcheted up throughout the program. By the end of the show, he's going to have tears. He's going to be he's going to be inflamed.
It's bad.
He's going to be so annoyed that he decided to do
I
this.
just got a text from Mark Carney. He said, I refuse to come on with these two.
Oh, no, you got to know what you're in for
He's
now.
like, I didn't know I was going to come on during joke
Because
day.
I'm a legitimate head coach now. This cannot be my first public
Is this going to hurt recruiting?
No, it shouldn't.
Actually, his successor was a bit of a clown.
You can go ahead and hit that for me there.
Oh, yeah, wait, he was on.
Reckless speculation.
He was on his staff.
So is that what I'm saying? You can't. It's his predecessor. You can't. You can't say these things. He's gonna hang up on you. He ain't gonna say nothing bad about the guy he worked for.
No, never.
But I mean, you say it's bad for recruiting. It couldn't have got any worse than what it was when he got there. So
that's very true.
I mean, let's be honest here. So he's doing a hell of a job. But yeah, either way, it's Halloween. Today is officially Halloween, which I keep thinking tomorrow's Halloween because we have trick or treat tomorrow, not today.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which I'm glad.
Does that have to do with the playoffs at all?
Yeah.
Because Avon did that. Bay is in the playoffs, my hometown, but it's also Halloween is tonight.
Didn't Avon switch to yesterday?
They switched to yesterday. There was outrage.
Yeah, because we had like Melissa Reed,
she talked to the mayor
at the side of the road. Yeah, and she was in the rain talking and like boots on the ground. And I was like only half-ass paying attention, so I didn't really notice that much.
I don't know if they didn't know that it changed to the 12-team format because you got to assume when you're Avon, like you're getting a first-round bye. It's top 4 teams in each region get a first-round bye. Right?
Why aren't they getting a first-round bye?
They did get a first-round bye. That's what I'm saying. But if it was still a 16-team format, you wouldn't have gotten a first-round bye. You would have played 6. You know, if you were number 1, you'd play 16.
So why did they switch then?
They switched before. That's what I'm saying. They must not have known that it switched back to 12 teams.
Our mayor made a cognizant decision going, hey, I know November 1st is not Halloween, but we might host a home playoff game. And I kept looking at the Joe Idol, I'm not sure. Guy does a remarkable job. And I go, oh my God, we're going to get a first round bye and it's all going to be for naught. And there's going to be nothing going on in the town on Friday. And then they kind of had like that little switcheroo with Norton there. And then some other thing. I mean, you're 8-2. And we ended up playing tonight against West G.
Against the Wolverines.
So it ended up working out for Mr. Mayor. Mayor Glenn, hell of a decision because I was prescient. I was a little concerned. I was skeptic. It ended up working out. So it'll be tomorrow. But yeah, I didn't. They didn't know they could.
Yeah, we got a full night of trick or treating planned in Avon Lake. Don't worry about it. Nothing going on there.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Gonna watch Game 6, the World Series.
Whatever. Ken's already thinking about his Christmas lights.
That's true.
Yeah, I got to start them early.
My wife could not believe that. I said, "Oh, Ken's getting started either Saturday night or Sunday morning."
No. Saturday night I'll be drunk, but on Sunday morning I'll be maybe a little hungover. But you know, when you do it like me, I don't get hungover, and so I'll probably go out there and tear down and then start putting up Christmas lights.
The amount of Ken Wayne Gacy comments.
It's all over. I know.
Some people are saying Anthony Lima is co-hosting with Kevin Stefanski today.
I'm seeing a lot of Browns commentary there, and I was like,
Connor says Tony looks like he's about to sell roids to kids at the J Center on the low.
Yeah, you kind of do look like a guy who would ask to meet me in the men's room. Like, hey, go to the middle stall. I don't ever go to the middle stall. I'm never told by anybody to go to the middle stall.
The coveted, the vaunted middle stall.
No, I'll meet you in the corner. I ain't going to the middle stall. I know what happens there. Happy Halloween.
And we welcome in the Shedeur Sanders family. They are either just getting to bed or just waking up.
Oh, God. Here you go. Well, they're all across the world, so, it's any time.
He's global.
Now, and we're glad to have everybody here. All right. Coming up at 8:20, Daryl Ryder going to join us on the show. You think he's going to have some... there's no way I can keep this on the whole show. You got to let me take it off at some point.
I'm already seeing...
It's too hot. I'm too damn hot and sweaty. I'm getting sweaty.
I'm a little nervous.
How did John Gacy walk around
just
like this?
Just take the wig off and you can just be a juggalo.
John Gacy was fat. How on earth...
Yeah. Now you got to give him some...
That's a good idea. How did John Gacy walk around like this? He was fat. How did he do it?
Whoop, whoop.
How did he do it? Hey, I can go as fat superhuman. You can do that. And jump on a microwave covered in barbed wire. All right. Daryl Ryder, 8:20. Jordan Schultz, 9 o'clock, NFL Insider. Alex Wright has become a topic of conversation around, by the way. There's rumors. Contract year for him. Okay? Just got to think about it. 216-474-0092. And did Kevin Stefanski tell us something without really trying to tell us something on his coach's show yesterday? It's Ken Carman. It's the clown. And what are you again?
I'm the Jason Sudeikis guy from What's Up With That.
What's Up With That?
Yeah.
Welcome back to What's Up With That on The Fan.
Anthony Lima 4.
Lima for Ryan Young and the Young team, which still has the way to give you complete control of your listing through their instant cash offer. Gives you more flexibility than ever before. That's why I trust the Young team. You should too. Google the Young team and start packing.
Roadways are unobstructed 480 east from 237 to Warrensville Center and 176 north from 480 to West 14th. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Catch Overtime on The Fan to hear the first college football playoff rankings of the season. Tuesday night, Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
So again, we'll ask Daryl about the Charles Robinson thing about Myles Garrett. Nick Wilson talked about it yesterday. I thought I was going to disagree. Maybe I'm going to agree. Charles Robinson, Yahoo Sports said, the Eagles might have been thinking about offering 3 first-rounders right now for Myles Garrett, which, that is a hell of a haul. And if you're saying absolutely not, maybe I agree with Nick here. Let's hear what Nick had to say.
To dismiss out of hand 3 first-round picks offered for Myles Garrett would be the most counterintuitive thing. That would be another sign to me of dysfunction, or that you can't get on the same page if you're not following the own logic, which is, hey, this is an incredible offer for an aging player. We at least have to have serious conversations about what that Godfather offer looks like.
Well, that's why the saving grace of this report is that Charles didn't get it directly from the Eagles. He said he got it from other people around the NFL. So, because it doesn't make sense. You're right. It doesn't make sense to, how would I even defend them turning a deal down that is offered up like this for Myles with where this team currently is? You can't do it.
All right, you gotta have a conversation. The owner's the owner. You gotta pull Jimmy in and go 3 first-round picks, Jimmy. Unless he decided, I'm not going to be the guy who went and got Deshaun Watson, who is a flop, and I'm not going to be the guy who also is known for both of these things, getting Deshaun Watson and trading away Myles Garrett.
Yeah, tough to recover from that. Obviously, publicly, you're not going to recover.
Anytime you bring him, he'll have a job again in the NFL after this is over, but immediately the fan base, when they announce that they've hired you in some capacity, whatever fan base you're going to, they know that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be critical of that team. That doesn't bar you from having a job in the NFL again, obviously. I mean, there's been plenty of guys who have not done so well as general managers who have had jobs and have ended up going on to
Sashi Brown back in the NFL?
Sashi Brown's back in the NFL. Yeah, I was critical of bringing Ryan Grigson in some years ago. You remember that? I didn't like that. I thought he wasted Andrew Luck. I've been critical of other guys, but they go on and they have careers in the league. But this is just one thing that you have to answer to basically for the rest of your career, rest of your life.
Do we have to come to terms as a show or a station or as a fan base?
Tell me.
When we say 3 first-round picks, does that really match what could be 32, 31, and let's just say, for instance, does that sound like 3 first-round picks? When in your mind, what I'm saying is,
because you know
in your mind, when you're dealing with Jacksonville and you're like, we're getting next year's first-round pick, nobody is thinking 28 to 32.
Of course,
you're thinking
of course,
my God, if things go off the rails, maybe a top 7.
That's why I said yesterday. It's like, I don't know if he's moving in this time frame now. I think that you would consider it again because of who he is, because people are always going to call for him, and they're always going to think that you're not good. And right now, I got no backup to say you're going to be good at any time. That you would probably do it in the next offseason because it would roll over. You would go to 27 and 28, 29. You would be able to stagger it. And then you can get a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, who everybody thinks is probably not going to be drafting 28 to 32nd. And you get teams to lie to themselves.
I want to ask,
and they're going for it.
Well, I want to ask Owen because he's a Chiefs fan, and this is a team that he could go up against in the Super Bowl. Does Myles Garrett guarantee that those picks are going to be, if he's healthy, in the 30s?
Yes.
You're terrified to go up against Myles Garrett, right?
Well, but it wouldn't be until the Super Bowl. Yeah. But you saw what they did to the Chiefs' offensive line, which they've tried to retool. They did that without him last year. They completely dominated them in the Super Bowl.
Man.
That would be a problem. I don't think it would be anything under 28 for 3 years.
Right. But which is not.
These are NFC Championship games every year.
Which, when we say first-round picks, that doesn't sound like 3 first-round picks.
No, that is not. You're thinking at least 12?
But it's
15. That would be the low end when you talk about first-round picks.
You're right, but it's also more valuable currency. because it's not just a first-round pick; it's a 5th year of control.
That's a good point.
Now, again, if the player's not worth it, the player's not worth it. So you can always get a guy that you don't, Jed Wills. You can always get a guy that you really don't want for that 5th year. You might just do it out of necessity if you really need to, but you really don't want to.
All right, can I present to you one more thing, Ken?
Please.
And this is it. This will be the last word for me.
Yeah.
You did
what
before the season started?
What?
This is not the first time you've reacted to a potential Myles Garrett deal, right?
What are you going to use against me? Just go right on ahead.
Well, I do have back on. Let me pull it up.
I already know what I'm going to defend myself with
on
if
December
I get the chance.
19th, 2024, when Lindsey Rhodes came on the afternoon show, said, I think the Browns have to trade Myles Garrett. They're in such a deep financial hole and need so many things. You just wrote no, period. So has your mind changed drastically since that flippant dismissal of Lindsey Rhodes on Sports Radio 93?
How many draft picks you said we were getting? I wasn't trying to be flippant.
She just said they have to.
Just said no.
They have to trade him.
Well, because I didn't think it was going to make the situation any better in December, for crying out loud. And yeah, if you want to talk about flip-flops, I don't think I've always just wanted to trade Myles Garrett, and right now I'm sitting in the middle of a hellish season. And when I see 3 first-round picks coming up, I look at an opportunity to make my team younger and to make my team better in the future. Because there's plenty of teams that somehow don't have Myles Garrett, and they go to the playoffs every year. So I know I have to get more good players. And right now I'm tapped out. I'm tapped out on my offensive line. I'm tapped out on my defensive. I'm tapped out at linebacker for the most part. Secondary is going to have to come back around again, because how long is Devin Bush going to be great for me? So a wide receiver, for the love of everything, this is the worst wide receiver room I think you've seen since the fan's been going.
Well, we've had some bad ones.
So I have to replenish
Dwayne Bowe and Kenny
all
Britt.
This. And so if I get 2 first-round picks over the next 4 years, if I can stagger this out, guys, I have to consider this. Because you guys are the general managers. We are the general managers who cannot be fired from this football team. So, yeah, I have to consider it. Things change.
I'm not
as
blasting.
You like to say,
No,
I know what you did.
I'm not blasting Ken for flip-flopping.
As you like to say, I have the benefit of new information. And my new information is I'm 2-6, and they're even worse at the quarterback position than I thought they would be, which is incredible to say.
Oh, and I'm seeing a little drip down the one side, and now
you got what you wanted.
The red in front,
the red stripe
is sticking
There's no way I got to take this crap off at the break.
We got to get Ken. We got to get Ken worked up at least one more massive time, really get him fired up.
I know what you wanted to do.
Ken, much like his Myles Garrett takes, decommitting from them, moving in a different direction.
Come on, 216.
You got new information about your clown makeup now?
216-474-0092. Get Ken worked up on Friday.
I didn't realize I would get this many John Wayne Gacy comments. Okay.
What was the Pennywise one, Owen?
Oh, somebody's not Pennywise. He's more like quarter pounder wise.
Watch this on YouTube Live.
If you're not trying to get Ken worked up on a day like today, then I don't recognize you as a listener of the show and a supporter of the show. You want to make this show better, get him worked up right now. Because I've done it over the years. It almost seems rote.
Well, this is the problem, is I can't have a serious conversation with you.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't, because now you're just trying to get me mad because you think it would be funny for me to yell at you in clown makeup. I know what this is.
I can't wait to see this video that's about to be published in about 48 seconds.
I'm sure it is, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. I know I'm not thinking clearly, so maybe I don't do it now. You know what? No. But I have to consider it in the winter. Is he still worth 3 first-round picks in the winter?
Oh, I think the whole thing.
Is he still worth 3 first-round picks in the winter?
Why are we operating from a position of weakness? Let's pit some teams up against each other.
Exactly.
Let's drive up the price.
Is he still worth 3 first-round picks in the winter? Then I'll consider it in the winter. I'm not considering it right now. Because the Eagles, they're going to be a playoff team. They're intending to be a late out in the playoffs, if not a Super Bowl contender. So if by the way, they're giving up 3 first-round picks not to be in the middle. So yeah, maybe I can talk a Bears or somebody into thinking that they're going to be really, really, really competitive here for the short term and that they need to go for it. And I can't see a scenario, because I don't want to sit there and do everything to injury. Is it going to be worth 3 first-round picks? Because at this time in the offseason, where's my offensive line at? Where's the other guys on my defensive line?
Under construction.
Where is Devin Bush? Where's my other linebackers at? Where are my guys in the secondary at? I got Grant Delpit there. I got Denzel Ward there. These are nice players. I know I got one coming back in MJ Emerson, but we'll see about his health coming back from it. There's a couple other good guys. And my wide receiver room is in shambles. So maybe I consider this in the wintertime. You know what? No, you're right. It has to be talked about. I'm glad we fleshed this out, because it has to be talked about right now, but at the same time...
I was flushing out his eyes.
It has to be talked about right now,
the topic.
But at the same time, I say no. We'll talk about it in the wintertime. 216-474-0090.
The clown has spoken.
Can I say...
There's an eyewash station over in the lab. If you'd like to go
Mark Carney, new full-time Kent State head football coach, is going to join us coming up at 7:20 this morning. Daryl's going to join us at 8:20 this morning. Coming up next, did Kevin Stefanski... I'm not going as Kevin for Halloween. Knock it off. I'm way heavier, guys. Second, did Kevin admit something without admitting something yesterday on his own show? That's coming up in 5 on The Fan. Daisy Dips. Yummy. Daisy Dips, friends.
Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
If the Browns make a move, you'll hear it here first. The NFL trade deadline is 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Get all of the latest news from around the league on your flagship home for Cleveland Browns football.
This penalty's declined.
We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Minutes away, Mark Carney going to join us on the show. New Kent State football coach, not press secretary. Yeah.
Currently, actual Carney hosting the show.
Yeah, I am a Carney hosting the show. Watch us on 92.3 The Fan on YouTube.
Carney and Carney.
There you go. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope I look good. I hope everybody's enjoying it. I can't wait to take this off because it's getting in my eyes.
You're not taking it off.
This is totally backfired.
Folks, we're in it for the long haul.
This is totally backfired.
I want breaking.
I'm taking it off.
I want breaking news. Okay, if you don't want it to be Miles because you guys are so attached to Miles, we need breaking LeBron news today that he's coming back.
Why?
So that you have to stay on.
Yes.
We have to go round the clock.
So it lives on in perpetuity?
Yes, of course.
That's
so they
what
go,
you want.
We're checking in with Cleveland right now.
That's what you
and
want.
They just see you. You're bitching about something that you paid $1.99 for at a grocery store and going, why isn't this makeup holding up better?
Eyes, it hurts. It's burning. I can't see out of my left eye.
Yeah, probably should have went to Sephora.
But the best is what's happening with the wig because he's trying not to touch it.
It's coming apart.
But he's overheating underneath it, so he has to keep kind of moving it around and tinkering with it, and it's coming off.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's shedding. He's losing hair faster than I am.
It's coming out of here. This is great.
You're wilting.
I need Van Scoy for my wig. All right. So Mark Carney going to join us, and I keep getting itchy, and
this isn't going to work.
This is so bad.
This is not going to survive,
no.
is it?
Kevin Stefanski spoke yesterday on his coach's show. Here's what Kevin Stefanski had to say. Now, I want to know if he told us something without telling us something, because I got excited about this audio, but I'm like, you know what? It's the bye week. Not a great time of year. They're not good. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. But Stefanski 06, 07, and 14. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I should have called for that. I was too busy messing with my wig. I apologize. So here's Kevin Stefanski on the coach's show. Total distraction by me. And I'm sorry. Here is Kevin saying, Gabriel hasn't been all bad. Young QBs go have their struggles.
Young quarterbacks are going to have struggles at times in a game, could be a quarter, whatever it is. And obviously you hope with these young guys that they're all continuing to get better. And I know the quarterback position gets magnified in that discussion as well. But you're trying to just stack days, you're trying to stack games on top of each other. And I think there's been some really good moments.
So we don't stack wins anymore. We're just stacking positive days. That's where we're at.
Wake ups.
We're stacking. Can you get here on time? Yes. Stack it. That's 2 in a row.
I want you to hear more.
And we
of
get
this.
a third day.
I want you to hear more of this. He was asked about how to get more vertical in the passing game. Survey Stefanski said.
As we do this week and during the bye week, you watch all these plays together and you're kicking yourself because it's one thing here and then it's one thing there where it's just stopping you from hitting those shots. They're there, but we have to do our job. It's not a player thing. It's an all of us thing. We have to do our job in terms of making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, and then we can start to hit these shots.
Okay.
Who's that a shot at?
Do you think that's a shot at anybody in particular?
Well, the coach is saying that it's available. The stuff they're calling is open.
Okay.
So make it happen. Is it more on the receivers or the quarterback? Part of the reason they were comfortable with elevating Dylan Gabriel as fast as they were.
I think it's got to be on the quarterback. There are times where some of these guys are open and he ain't seeing them. And you could hey, Joe didn't really see him either. So, you can put that on Kevin if you want to as well.
Well, you know what I'm getting at, Ken, is... And yeah, we have wide receiver issues, you're right. But, we've seen Judy. He's running his routes just fine. Maybe not Isaiah Bond. But Fannin, he's available. Njoku when he comes in. I guess what I'm getting at is, do you think there is already buyer's remorse on Dylan Gabriel? Because when he came here, what was the thought? The thought was he's quarterbacked more games in college football history than anybody else. So at the very least, he should be able to hit the layups.
I bet he probably wishes he was still in college. I bet he wishes he had the same lawyer Diego Pavia does. Here's Kevin Stefanski. I want one more clip from this. Here's how he says that others can help Gabriel get better.
So I think there's things that we can do better around him, and again, I put that on me and the coaches, and certainly his teammates, where we can support him. And then when it's there, we got to trust that he'll let it rip, and we'll come away with that play that we're just not making at this moment in that game to flip the game.
Oh, he's blaming the quarterback. Yeah, trusting to let it rip.
I wonder, and when you're guys, I know you guys are going to be annoyed by this. They're 2-6, and the general manager isn't talking. So when the general manager don't talk and when they don't say much, I got nothing to do but speculate. And some of the speculation, I mean, people have been throwing around theories all week. Lima wanted to bring up later on today, and he wanted to bring it up throughout the week, the whole agent thing about Dylan Gabriel and all that stuff. Don't do it yet. You throw around theories. Is Kevin just telling us right now, it's like, hey, you know what? I didn't really want to play him this soon, and we're just trying to have some nice days.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me.
I go back to that first clip. Okay? I mean, again, 06 again if you can. I want people to hear this. This is Stefanski again. Said, young quarterback's going to struggle. They're going to have days like this. Here's about Gabriel. Go ahead.
Young quarterbacks are going to have struggles at times in a game. Could be a quarter, whatever it is. And obviously you hope with these young guys that they're all continuing to get better. And I know the quarterback position gets magnified in that discussion as well. But you're trying to just stack days. You're trying to stack games on top of each other. And I think there's been some really good moments.
I mean, you're just talking about stacking days. That's all he's talking about. Maybe he meant wins. He meant wins.
He's not talking about wins. He's not talking about making a run. He's not talking about hanging around in a bad division for a potential playoff berth. He's not talking about any of that stuff.
Alex Wright did yesterday for what's worth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's a player. You're 2-6, you have to. I mean, honestly, if you think about it like this, it's a bad division. If you get to 3-6 next week, I know that the Ravens, hey, they've won 2 in a row now. They're 3-5. They're kind of getting up off the mat. You got to try to talk yourself into it if you're a player. Guys, I know they're not going to make that run, but he has to talk himself as a player. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the coach isn't he's so far removed from that. He's so far removed from
the coach isn't discussing
even stacking big time moments or anything like that. He's just like, yeah, we're basically play to play right now with this quarterback. And we need him to let it rip. The offense is available. Guys are available in this offense. He's got to be able to trust it. And I think that's why I asked you the question, does he have buyer's remorse already? Because I think the expectation was that he would come in and be able to do those things.
I don't think he has buyer's remorse. I think he has, I can't believe I had to put this guy in here this soon. And then I can't believe Joe was not doing it. Okay? So I'm not going to take back what I said at the beginning of the season, 4 games into the season, where it's like, this guy, he don't have it anymore.
It wasn't good with Joe.
He doesn't have it right now. And he doesn't have it with these wide receivers. I mean, again, I cannot get through a sentence without blaming another person and then also blaming Kevin. You cannot just simply say that one guy, even the players, that one guy's a victim. You can't do it. It's impossible. So now you have to look at it like I start to vomit at the mouth because it's all coming out. I can't get through a sentence and say, well, Kevin's got to scheme up the offense. Okay, well, Ken, what are you going to scheme up for these guys who can't get open? Okay, Ken, well, what are you going to do about Dylan Gabriel? Okay, well, what's Dylan Gabriel going to do? Okay, who drafted Dylan Gabriel? Who really drafted Dylan Gabriel? And I'm sure Kevin probably does like Dylan Gabriel. Did he want to put him out there? How many third-rounders get put out there within a month of the season? How many third-rounders have to be put out there when you have to put them out there in a month of the season? See, this is what goes back to Kenny Pickett, because you could have started Kenny Pickett, brought in Joe, or you could have done vice versa. You could have done that. Now, Kenny Pickett, I don't think would have saved anything except time for Dylan Gabriel or for Shedeur or anybody else. See, that's what I think he's telling you, Tone. In so many ways, young quarterbacks are going to struggle. Yeah, especially guys who were probably overdrafted in the 3rd round. I mean, we did this before. Guys, we're just repeating history.
No, you're right about the Kenny Pickett part of this.
I look at Dylan Gabriel. I hope this isn't, and I know that this has become an argument between some fans, and maybe because you take it in on the internet and it's in snippets. Let me say this: I think some of the stuff that's been said about Dylan Gabriel has been pretty nasty. But let me clarify my comments, and I'm not going to speak for you. Let me just speak for me. I'm trying to look at Dylan Gabriel in the prism of he's starting too soon. He's starting way too soon. I thought he was a career backup. I think he's going to be a career backup. But I also know he's out there way too soon, and he's in a situation where it's not set up for his success. He's in a situation where it's not set up for him to be a viable option for the future right now. I'm serious about that. So now, if I still had Joe, if Kevin still had Joe, and say he does believe in his heart of hearts, and this is going to be an unpopular thing, that Shedeur isn't ready to go, that he could always just have Dylan sit. Joe has a little more time. Dylan could see the field. I told you before, this is a crazy comparison. I only make the comparison because one guy had way higher of a ceiling, and should have had more pressure on him, but you're a quarterback for the Browns, so you're always going to have pressure on you. Look at Josh Allen. There's no comparison, none, between him and Dylan Gabriel. The only thing I will say, Josh Allen started out rough, got an injury, sat out a month, let the game come to him, got to see it from the different perspective, got himself healthy. He's been off and running ever since. He's been off and running. So you can't tell me, well, once they're out, they're out. No, because he's a career backup, so he's going to have to deal with this his entire career. So what Kevin is telling you, to me, is that this is all too soon. This is all too sudden. And I got to tell you, I think Kevin's saying don't expect different results with anybody else who's going to play this year. You read between the lines on that one. Because the only other veterans on that team are one guy that is just basically styrofoam. That's all he is packing peanuts for this football team. That's Bailey Zappi. And the other guy who's even scarier to fans than Halloween night. So you don't want to deal with that. And so Kevin's got to figure out. I mean, he's got 9 more games. You're going,
so many games.
All of a sudden now you're old Mother Hubbard. You don't know if you got enough quarterbacks to make it through. You're not disagreeing with anything I'm saying.
No, I'm not disagreeing with it. I just think that...
And that paints Kevin out to be a victim. He's not. Look at what other quarterbacks are doing.
Yeah, they're going to take this segment and say we're just defending
No, that's
Kevin.
ridiculous. Look, even Tyler Huntley had some success. Mm-hmm. Tyler Huntley didn't have any success with us, okay? Tyler Huntley, Baker Mayfield, credit where it's due. And even Joe Flacco, I know his wide receiver room's much better. Well, this doesn't let Andrew Berry off the hook either. That's 3 different guys. 3 of them. So this is evidence against Kevin, too. Again, it's not to make anybody out to be a victim. It's all not good, Tone.
No, I think Kevin at the very least thought Dylan Gabriel would be able to come in and just make the layups happen.
And he's behind.
And he's not even doing that.
He can't even hit the layups.
So what is that? What is left?
He can't hit the layups.
So it's going to lead everybody that's with us right now listening or in the chat. They're just going to be like, well, then this is stupid. Go to the next guy. Who's the next guy?
Shedeur. The next guy is Shedeur. And that's where it's like, at least, at the very least, listen, I like the guy. I want him to be successful. I'm on record many, many times. I know that. And anybody who's jumping in, oh, whatever. No, go back to April. Go back to all the other times. I'm not as supportive as Jonathan Peterlin, but I like him. At the very least, I'd be more entertained. Which is a terrible reason. But you are professional football, and you're 2-6, and we're already looking at guys in college right now. Coming up at 8:20 this morning, the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder. We'll go about last night coming up at 7:45. Up next, new Kent State head football coach Mark Carney. New full-time head coach. Has him out to a 3-5 record. And when you lost 21 in a row at one point, that's a hell of a thing. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Real Estate Margin can...
sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
There were 6 programs who had turned over, and there were 6 new head coaches. I told you all that time we had the best damn one. We agree, and we're going to remove the interim tag. Welcome your new head coach.
A fired up Kent State locker room. That was the voice of the athletic director at Kent State, Randall Richmond, and that was the AD presenting the new head coach with the elimination of the interim tag. And we are welcoming in Coach Mark Carney of Kent State. How does that sound, by the way, Coach, to hear no longer interim? I got to be honest, it was getting annoying saying it on TV, and I was doing a game with Doc Holliday. He's a running back from the Memphis area, and I told him this isn't going to be interim much longer after your win last week. So how does it feel? How does it sound?
It's been an exciting, 24, 48 hours. I haven't slept a ton, getting it all done, but super cool moment yesterday. To get the opportunity to lead a college football program, in the place you grew up is pretty special.
Kent State new football coach Mark Carney joining us on the show. When you had to take over as interim, what did you tell the players? What was the first thing you told them?
Let's be better. Kent State deserves better. We're better than what the narrative is. Let's focus on improvement, and they've taken it to heart and have done that. So really proud of their response in a challenging moment.
All right. Well, how long, Coach, had these discussions been taking place? Were you even a part of these discussions? I mean, every coach has an agent, and we're hearing a lot more about their power throughout college football, especially with what's been happening around the news cycle in college sports. So were you a part of these conversations at all? Like, how does this go down?
Yeah, I mean, really, when it initially took place, and I got the opportunity to lead starting in April, I just took it as, hey, this is a 7-month interview, and we talked about, hey, doing a search potentially after the season, and my whole goal was to make sure it was very, very obvious and evident that I was the right guy for the job, and really leave them no choice. And I feel like we've done that.
Did you think of this as an opportunity? Because, I mean, you're from the Cleveland area. It's like, man, you don't want to have to leave. You kind of got it back where you're at again. So did you have any more pressure on you to be able to go out and attain this job personally?
No, pressure, exact opposite. I had more support and felt more love from family and community, and it made it really easy. This is home. I think we had 44 tickets for the Bowling Green game last Saturday. Mom and family and cousins and their kids, and it's been really, really cool.
Mark Carney, new head coach, Kent State Flashes. So you take over a team and you have all this, the bunch of guys that don't know, are they staying, are they going when you get elevated or at least have the interim tag. And then next thing you know, You've got to come up with not only a roster when it comes to quarterbacks and a depth chart, but you hire a defensive coordinator, elevated defensive coordinator, like basically a few weeks before the season starts, and you're staring at that losing streak that everybody is talking about in the most negative way possible. And were you sitting there thinking, yeah, we can end this, and not only that, we can build on this? Like, did you truly believe it at the time?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I think, none of us are need to let circumstances dictate our behavior or response, right? And if you want something, be honest about where you are currently and what it's going to take to get you there. And we did. We were very honest with one another about what it would take to kind of flip the script and change the narrative. And haven't been talking about it a lot since. We just put it into work and done it.
Recruiting wise, what have you done to kind of set up your map that's been different from coaches in the past?
When you look at the history and tradition here at Kent State, the best teams, were always built from Northeast Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, at a 2-3 hour radius around campus. And being a Northeast Ohio native, I know how important high school football is. I'm actually sitting in the parking lot of a high school football program right now. It means something here. And, to keep the best in Northeast Ohio is certainly going to be a challenge, but we're ready for it. We're excited.
Mark Carney joining us on the show. Why do you think some of the coaches in the area over the past, 20 years, it seems, have been kind of shying away, where it's like, hey, I know there's burners in Texas and Florida, but we got athletes here too, and it's a high football IQ kid that comes out of Northeast Ohio, that comes out of the state of Ohio, and you said Western Pennsylvania as well, and it's like, if they know how to run your system, if the other ones are confused, you're still going to win.
Yeah, no, I think that's the nature of the beast in college football anymore. Is you got really a year, right? I don't care how long the contract says. It's a year-to-year deal, and to take the opportunity and take the challenge of development, is really hard for some people. But we're going to go about that differently. We're going to recruit the best players in this area, and they're going to have the opportunity to come to Kent State and play early. Our track record of playing young guys, in their first years has been pretty good. We're going to continue that trend.
Who have you heard from? I always love these stories from coaches because you guys are so well-traveled. You've been everywhere. You've had to do every job. And here you are as a head coach now of a university. So who have you heard from?
A lot of people, man. This college coaching journey for me has been pretty crazy. Starting at Fordham University, my alma mater, and traveling up and down the East Coast from division to division, level to level. I got a pretty broad net, and it's been really, really cool to hear from a lot of different people. But a lot of unread texts. So if you've texted me and I haven't responded, that's on me.
All right, now you've got a football game coming up. Like, when people get jobs, sometimes they get 6 months, sometimes they get a few months, sometimes you get a few weeks to really celebrate. You said you haven't got a lot of sleep, and I noticed you had some players in the locker room thinking they were going to get off without having to practice when this announcement came down, and you were clearly like tunnel vision, like full speed ahead. We got a game to get ready for in Ball State.
Yeah, no, it was never the goal, of anybody in that locker room for Mark Carney to be the head football coach. I think, this is a byproduct of, our habits and what we've been doing daily. And you're right. There's no rest for, the people on the mission, and the mission hasn't changed. The mission, it hasn't been accomplished yet. We're going to continue to improve, and we've got 4 more opportunities to do that this year, and looking forward to every single one of them.
Coach Mark Carney joining us, Kent State football. All right, final one from me. You're from Northeast Ohio. You went to Ed's, correct?
Yes, sir.
How would you fix the Browns?
We got to find a quarterback. I think, whenever you're good at any level of football, it starts at that position. And, starts there. Got to find a QB.
All right, Coach. Well, yeah, St. Ed's grad. I got a chance to talk to you throughout the year. We're so excited for you. By the way, 3-0 in Kent State games that I have been on the call.
I know. We got to get you back.
Well, you've got Schumacher and Dustin Fox.
Yeah, we got Foxy
next Wednesday. So look forward to that, and hopefully you can keep the good thing going, because I can tell you right now, there were some people at Dick's Stadium on that Saturday that were there to see Eddie George, and I think when they left, they were thinking more about Kent State, which that's got to really underscore the positive momentum you guys are building right there at Kent State.
Yeah, no, it was an exciting win on Saturday. Bowling Green's a place that I spent a couple of years in my career, and Coach George is doing an outstanding job. But I look forward to a couple more sideline opportunities against them.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Let's do this again. Thanks.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, head coach. New head coach. No interim tag anymore. Mark Carney with Kent State. How about
Awesome.
he's in a parking lot right now? That people think, oh, you get the head coaching job, you get to relax. He's literally at a high school.
I want to know
about
who's
to
recruiting.
beg a kid.
Now I want to know.
I know you couldn't really say.
You're not allowed to say. I don't think he's allowed.
Isn't that the best though? Because today yesterday he was still recruiting, right?
Yeah.
When he was the interim, right?
Yeah.
But you go, hey, I'm trying my best. Maybe it's me. Now you get to walk in today and go, I'm the guy. It'll be me and you for the next however long,
So I think what we're getting at here with a lot of guys, and I don't want to. We got Jared Allen's injury. We got to talk about coming up and about last night. We got some other things we have to get to, obviously. And I try to shy away from some of because it's my team haven't been that good. Mm-hmm. I think we struggled here and there. I think MAC teams have struggled here and there because I don't think they've gotten towards Ohio players, to be honest with you, and it's been a bothersome thing, especially getting some texts from some local head coaches who have been very opinionated when their former players do really well at the college level at some of these other places, and they go, oh, but so-and-so didn't want them, which I cannot tell you how many texts I've received from local head coaches. Oh, so-and-so didn't want him. Oh, this program didn't want him, but look what he's doing here and there.
I see it. These MAC schools are trying to beg transfers of guys that don't play at the big schools, and it's like, hey, are you paying attention to what some of these kids can do in Northeast Ohio? Would actually love to come to your program. Might be worth it, and I think this coach actually gets that.
There's a former quarterback, I think his name's Max Brown, and he did a video, and it was about like Brian Kelly, and it's weird I'm comparing the Kent State head coach to Brian Kelly. The reason is
one's got a
because
job and one doesn't.
One has a job, one doesn't, but also like you're seeing a change in what head coaches are. And I don't think it's about being soft. I don't think it's about coddling players or anything like that. I think it's more supportive than it's been. When you've won national championships, when you've won a bunch of national championships, you can be a little bit more dictatorial. But I think, when you go to a guy like Saban, I think people look at him as a god. I think he might be the last one. I think the closest one to him is probably looks like it's going to be Ryan Day. I can't believe I'm saying that after what we were talking about 11 months ago. But it's still a supportive type of thing where it's a challenge, but it's also where it's like, you don't play for me, we play for each other, and that's what it is. And so when you have a new age coach, and I've only interviewed Mark Carney one time that ended 90 seconds ago. So you know him better than I do, obviously, but I think the new age of it is, it's got to be more of a partnership. Like there is respect, it's given, but it has to be earned. And I think that you're giving respect on the other end where, there were a lot of coaches who thought that you just play for me and that's the way it's going to go. And I think a lot of guys have made that mistake. And I think you look at some of the stuff that Brian Kelly has done. The red face on the sidelines, I don't know what I look like right now, but the red face on the sidelines, dressing down players. Listen, man, I think we get confused at times with tough love, but I also think that sometimes that just comes off as egotistical. And where if they don't know it, that's still a reflection on you. When guys run the wrong route and passes bounce off their shoulder pads and end up being picked, that's still going to be a reflection on you and your staff. You can yell at the player all you want, but that's still going to be on you. And I think more coaches get that now than some of them used to, and I think that's why we're seeing a little bit more success with some of these guys than we've seen in the past.
And you know what? Listen, he's had to deal with it. He was never going to say anything about it. He's had to deal with people lobbying for guys like, famous dudes, right?
Well, no,
Josh Cribbs.
I will flat out say it. I had no idea who he was, and so when Josh Cribbs, I was like, they can't do any worse. Go get Josh Cribbs.
Right, but the reality is this dude's been in the trenches. He was a coach there watching the worst version of Kent State football you could ever imagine, and so for him in short order deal with all of that noise. The kind of the national, there's an undercurrent of college football people, the degenerates who are following all this stuff, and they became kind of a laughing stock. And already, he has gained more respect in a month and a half, 2 months than, what was there in a long time. That's doing something. And that got them to not have to worry about going after a celebrity hire. They were able to hire a guy with boots on the ground who understands this region, and you heard him speak to Northeast Ohio, Western PA. That's exactly what you're looking for.
Daryl Ryder, 801, Daryl Ryder, 820, Daryl Ryder this morning. Also, 901, beg your pardon, Jordan Schultz going to join us, NFL Insider, the Schultz Report. We've had him on a bunch of times before. I want to ask him about Quinshon Judkins. He did a podcast with Quinshon Judkins just the other day. Want to ask him about that. And Jared Allen, now questionable, hurt his ring finger. What's that mean for Evan Mobley? We addressed that on About Last Night, coming up in just a few minutes on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Man.
soundtrack as you head home. 92.3 The Fan.
So much can.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. He couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Gotta get my wig on here. You started too soon.
I was going to say, can I start here? Are you good to go?
We're good to go now.
All right, so we had some news regarding the game coming up later tonight between the Cavs and the Toronto Raptors, which we'll be giving tickets away for at 9 a.m. The first of the Emirates NBA Cup group stage for the Cavaliers, but Allen has been dealing with a finger fracture that he suffered during the game against Boston. So he is listed questionable for tonight, and I'm trying to wonder with you guys, is it getting harder to kind of evaluate where the Cavs are this early in the season because we're getting so many guys injured at this point?
No. Because it's still got to go through Evan. Now, I think there's a difference in... I know I sound like a broken record about that, but I'm going to continue to harp on it until I have to change my opinion on things. Now, Evan has it been proven, or at least it's a thought, it's a theory by the fans, Anthony, let me run it past you, that Evan's just better when Jared Allen is not on the floor. So would this make things easier for him in some way? Or is it, that was with Darius Garland, now he doesn't have Darius Garland?
Yeah, I mean, my thought eventually is that, they're going to separate the two of them, and we know who's going to be leaving at some point. But right now, I'm not all that concerned about that. I'm not really concerned about the record. I think we know they are going to bludgeon teams when we get, in the normal part of the season and when you get Darius Garland back. They're just going to be flat out so much better than so many of these teams in the Eastern Conference. The Western games, those are going to be battles because there's so many teams in the Western Conference that actually think they are vying for title contention. In the East, how many teams are truly vying for it? It seems like it's the Knicks, it's the Cavs, the Milwaukee Bucks. They looked good last night, and Giannis has looked amazing so far this year. You make the argument he's been the best player in the NBA this year if it's not Wemby. So, and then Philadelphia is a nice story. I don't think people realistically think they're going to have it. So the Cavs are going to bludgeon these teams all year. So I have no problem with them with different rotations. I'm not going to get on Atkinson for playing certain guys too much, like whatever, until you get Darius back. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think they're going to lose ground in the Eastern Conference or anything.
They might bludgeon the Raptors tonight. They're 1-4 on the season. Speaking of struggling teams, last night, the Dolphins and Ravens game. You may think this would have been a clip from Huntington Bank Field earlier this season, but this was at the Hard Rock last night.
3rd and 17. Tua said check it down. It's incomplete. Didn't matter anyway. HN would have been stopped in his tracks. And the crowd has just about had it.
Even came with a whole check down on 3rd and long.
This was, in the words of Scorsese, this was absolute cinema last night. You had to see it. The way that Prime, I don't know, I forget what they've spent on Thursday Night Football. The way that they shot this was incredible. To see the slow-mo replays of Mike McDaniel reacting to every bad play, to every turnover, the slow-mo of people just getting decimated on the field for the Miami Dolphins. It made it worth it. Because usually you would just turn off a 28-6 game. You couldn't turn away.
I'll tell you, if you are a bad team or if your season's going in the wrong direction, you do not want to be on the Amazon Thursday night game.
No.
Because they broadcast it like it's a Super Bowl.
They do.
They have just as many cameras as they have at the Super Bowl. They do a post-game show that's like 3 hours long that they just let the fans basically sit in on the show. I think they mic up the fans. I think they take questions from the fans. It's like Maury Povich all of a sudden.
Somebody had asked me, like, what do you do? Like, this was a few weeks before when we saw like this collision course between the Dolphins and Browns. And they go, what would they do? I go, well, I mean, if it's a blowout one way or the other, you're going to show still shots of that coach and go, is this their last game? And they did not do that with Mike McDaniel when he was here. The CBS broadcast did not do that. Like, they kind of take care of you a little bit.
Yeah, they do. That's a good point.
A little bit.
Amazon's looking for sensational
does not care. They
video.
do not care. This is entertainment. It's an entertainment business. They don't give a damn. They're going to show it. And it was It was unreal, some of the shots they had of the Dolphins' reactions to everything going on. They came back from break. They show the fans leaving in droves after the one fumble by Malik Washington. It was unlike anything I've seen on a Thursday night broadcast, I think, ever.
Well, sticking with that, Kevin Stefanski yesterday talking on the Browns coaches show, and we got into some of his conversations regarding Dylan Gabriel earlier on in the show. We also had this from him talking about how he and the rest of the team can help in getting Gabriel better this season.
I think there's things that we can do better around him, and again, I put that on me and the coaches, and certainly his teammates, where we can support him, and then when it's there, we got to trust that he'll let it rip, and we'll come away with that play that we're just not making at this moment in that game to flip the game.
Well, Mitch, the reality is, when it comes to Dylan Gabriel, Kevin Stefanski doesn't seem like he has a lot of confidence in his quarterback right now. But yet, he's not making the move to Shedeur Sanders, leading me to believe he doesn't have much confidence in Shedeur Sanders either. But I think the show is unified in that we'd like to see that. We'd like to see that play out. One way or another, we'd like to see that play out.
Love him or hate him, you can't say you're not curious. Like the other guy, there's plenty of people who don't like him. They don't want to see him. There's no way, even if you're one of the people who've been worked into a shoot online and you're fighting every single day about Shedeur and all the other things, and you're on the people who are anti-Shedeur, you cannot say you're not curious. Because it's a Christmas gift that's behind the tree, and I just want to get to it. It looks big, and I don't know what it's going to be. It could be a giant pile of socks. It could be a giant box of socks. Or it could be like when I was 5 years old and I decided to check downstairs in the family room and there was a giant wrapping, and I ran upstairs and go, there's a big present. Dad goes, better check it out. And it ended up being a Bigfoot Power Wheels. And it was the greatest Christmas gift I've ever received.
That'd be the greatest day ever.
And maybe Shedeur Sanders is the Bigfoot Power Wheels to Kenny Carman when he was 5 years old.
Not only the Cavs active tonight, we also have Game 6 of the World Series from the Jays and the Dodgers. Toronto 1 win away from the championship here. And this is Dodgers manager Dave Roberts asking if Ohtani could be used for Game 6.
Right now, obviously, when you're facing elimination, then you've got to have those conversations. So whatever it takes for us to win. Obviously, Yama's going, and then we're going to do whatever we can to put our best foot forward on the run prevention side. And then on the creation side and scoring runs too.
So does it make more sense to have Ohtani out of the pen in Game 6 or as a starter in Game 7?
As long as the Dodgers win, don't care. They got to win because I'm on tonight, and there was the 15-inning game. I didn't go on. It was 1:07 when that game ended. We went on at 1 o'clock. I didn't get home until about 2:30. Not doing that. No, got to have the Dodgers win tonight because if the Dodgers lose and Toronto wins, you get the game. The game is the game. No big deal. It's a World Series, right? But then I got to deal with waiting on the championship celebration end. And that's going to carry on another hour. So I'm just going to be up
easily.
until God. I'll never sleep. I was up 23 straight hours the last time in the ALCS or the NLCS. I'll be up 23 straight hours. Nobody cares. I know you guys don't care. I'm just going to get that off my chest. I picked this lifestyle.
Yeah, no one cares.
It's the business I've chosen. But you know what? I'm rooting for the Dodgers tonight.
You
rooting
also
for
have
the
to
evil empire.
You also have to get 5 former Cleveland Guardians input on winning a World Series championship because there's a bunch of them on the team.
That's
Beaver,
fine.
Straw, and all that.
That will happen.
I was rooting Blue Jays before, but now after hearing you bitch and complain, I want them to just put it on. I actually want it to be a 15-inning game and then them win.
Oh, I like that. You want to inconvenience Ken.
Listen, 1 o'clock is 1 o'clock is 1 o'clock. So eventually I'll just
You've never looked like more of a clown than when you cried about having to work late.
Eventually I'll just accept it. But if I don't have a rooting interest and I don't have a rooting interest, then fine. I'm going to pull for whatever makes my life easier.
Help me out.
I've got a rooting interest now.
It's
your demise.
If they don't need him to come out of the bullpen and the Dodgers win, are we getting Shohei pitching in Game 7?
It is projected for Game 7 Shohei. Or he might even be using the outfield, they said.
Okay.
Depending on what they're going to use as his pitchers. Because he already pitched in Game 4.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where it's going to go.
Are the Dodgers putting too much on their $900 million? How much is he making?
$700 million?
$1,000 million.
Are the Dodgers putting too much on their $700 million player?
Depends how much he's putting on this game.
Mookie Betts has not showed up at the plate in the postseason.
Ooh.
Freeman's kind of struggling a bit.
Ooh.
So we'll see.
Okay.
That's it for About Last Night.
Speak of the devil about the World Series, Lima. That's a very diabolical question when it comes to your Cleveland Guardians. I want to get to that and trying to put down a wild Browns conspiracy theory. It's coming up in just 5 minutes on The Fan with Daryl Ryder at 8:21. Window Nation and Window Nation.
If it's trending in the wrong direction, well, then maybe Shedeur does get the final 7 games. And if that's the case, we'll say that this season will have unfolded almost identically to how I thought it would.
Catch Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker on Afternoon Drive every Wednesday at 4. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
One Daryl Ryder at 8:22, so we must move. Go ahead, Tone.
Be the ninth caller, 216-474-0092. Win a pair of tickets to see the Foo Fighters with Queens of the Stone Age, August 10th. Huntington Bank Field. Tickets on sale this Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Be the ninth caller, 216-474-0092, all from Live Nation and Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Surfside Cavs report brought to you by the Fane folks at Surfside. It's very good. Jared Allen. Questionable for tonight. Questionable, not officially out. According to the Cavs, he's receiving treatment as well as rehabilitation on his left ring finger. I don't know how to pronounce the phalanx. The phalanx.
Better be careful.
Ed Mullinax. Like what?
Well, that's big because tonight's a big game, Anthony.
Tonight's not just a pedestrian, run-of-the-mill.
What the hell's the email?
Traditional regular season game, Kenny. This has a little more of a highlighted importance.
Oh, you know why?
Oh, you know why.
It is.
Yeah.
The Emirates Cup Group Play.
Stand and deliver.
Is this the Saudi anthem?
That's the official anthem of the Emirates Cup.
This is the cup. This is the cup, pal.
Oh, yes, it is. Listen to this, and we're in East Group A, not to be confused, my friends, with the lesser group, East Group B.
You even watch basketball if you get confused with the groups?
Oh.
Dare I say you don't?
Folks, the Cavaliers and the Pacers and the Hawks and the Raptors and the Wiz. Only a few will prevail. Mitch, more specifically, is it 2 will prevail from the group of 5 in the cup? I don't know the rules of the cup.
Now we're down players out of the cup. I don't know what the rules of the cup are.
Well, we didn't advance last year, did we?
No, we haven't advanced either
we
year.
Got
no,
bounced.
because we lost to the Hawks twice, I think.
Oh,
so
my
when
God.
you don't advance in the cup, you kind of don't care about the cup no more.
Oh, it was one of those games like the Thanksgiving.
I don't remember. It
was the parade.
Whatever.
Me and you were watching in the diner out in Burton.
That's right. I got to send them a text.
We were getting ready for the parade. Anyway, the cup.
I feel bad. The cup. The cup. You can win tickets to that coming up at 9 o'clock, right? All right.
Oh, and the court.
You can go see the cup tonight.
You know the
court's
court
gonna
looks
be
different
looking.
Well, of course, presented by Kenda Tires.
There you go.
Kenny, this is the court.
This is prestigious here, folks. It's cup time.
And you can tell they've got the cup at midcourt. They've got the cup in both the painted areas.
You can tell it's different. You can tell it's the cup.
Could this be the Evan Mobley coming out party in the cup?
We will find out later on tonight.
Could the Victory Frog be making its triumphant return in the cup?
That is the Surfside Cavs report. Brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside.
Will my wife allow me to attend a game simply because it's the cup?
Absolutely not. You know the answer to that. It's Halloween.
No. The answer's no.
That is not happening tonight anyway. That is not happening. Fun is canceled until those children are 18 years old. Daryl Ryder coming up in less than 20 minutes. Do you want to put a Wild Browns conspiracy theory to bed?
Which one, Kenny? I've been presented with many.
Well, I saw this one. You brought it to my attention. It is that they all have the same agent. Dylan Gabriel has the same agent as Kevin Stefanski, and that's why you drafted Dylan Gabriel.
What about Ed Stefanski's agent? That's another one.
I don't know about that one. I'm not even commenting on that one. I have no idea about that one. But I saw some people sent it to us this week, and I went, I don't know what you want me to do with this. What the hell you want me to do with this? They got the same agent.
Dan Lanning's agent at Oregon.
Okay.
Was that what it was?
They have the same agent.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches have basically the same 3 agents,
There's
guys.
like 3.
Yeah. There's
Jimmy Sexton,
Neil
Cornrich, from Beechwood.
Okay, and who else? There's there's one other.
Another power player.
Yeah, there's like 3. Again, we know 2 of the 3. The other one we don't even, no offense to him, we don't even know of. So you take your pick. You got about 3 different agents. Guys, it's easy to say, I don't think he's out. If Kevin Stefanski really cared that much about him and could replace him, he would. If it was that much of a concern. The whole drafting him thing, just because you know the agents, do you need to draft the guy 3rd round? You couldn't have waited till the 4th round? Yeah, I know there was did the other team, who was the other team I was thinking about drafting him that Albert Breer said? Does that coach and Dan Lanning have the same agent?
I thought Baltimore was involved.
Okay, so Baltimore is involved. Does John Harbaugh and Dan Lanning and Kevin Stefanski have the same agent? Again, when there's only 3, the odds are actually better than you think.
Can I tell you, this conspiracy is the perfect weed out. If you are online and you cross paths with somebody who thinks that this was a revelation, they've shared agents, it shows you that you've never followed college football, and
you never really followed coaches.
I do think a lot of the Shador fans, I think they just got into college football with Prime, and for good reason. What an awesome story! Like, it's been an awesome story. But I don't think they were following it at the granular level, because how could you not know that there's only, Wasserman is another big time agency. Like, how could you not know that these guys, it's incestuous?
Yeah, you're getting into, those are players as well. My whole thought of it is that, again, I do think that agents do, absolutely, they call teams day of the draft. They call teams before the draft. They advocate for their players. It's part of their job. But when it comes to like Dan Lanning, it's just been painted as some sort of a favor. Yeah. And honestly, guys, it's not lost on me that guys draft guys. They've done it as favors before. They do it more in the 5th, 6th, 7th.
Not in the top 100. We're not doing favors.
They don't do it at 94.
At that position in the top 100.
They don't do it there, and especially the quarterback position. They bring in guys. They sign guys as UFAs. Due to not favors sound bad.
No, but
favors sound terrible.
No, but Kenny, that is what happens. And relationships are a big part of the undrafted free agency mill.
Say Owen and I were both football coaches, and I was the head coach of the Browns, and Owen was the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. And there was a player that it's Saturday afternoon. We're past the 7th round. Owen and I got the same agent. People are starting to put it together, and I go, you know what? The agent, Anthony Lima, has been telling me about this kid over and over and over. He's got his own agent, more than likely. He's bothering us as well. All right, you know what? We're going to be out of draft picks soon. We're into the 7th round. We'll take a guy. You don't do it in the 3rd round. You really don't. You really don't. I don't think he's that great. It still falls on the Browns. It's just as simple as, they took a quarterback. He is not that good, and they put him out there too soon. We don't need to bring in tinfoil hats into this, guys. He's not that great. And we don't have to come up with different conspiracies. The conspiracy is exposed to you on Sundays. He's not that good, and he's limited, and he's playing way too early. The conspiracy will be exposed to you later on when Shador does get to play and he has a higher ceiling. Like, that's where it is with me. I don't need to talk anymore. I kind of wanted to bring up this Blue Jays thing here real quick, but that's where it is with me.
Look, there's no doubt, like, if Shador ends up playing and just looking like a no-brainer, better player than Dylan Gabriel instantly, and I don't know what your expectation is. I expect, like, his arm talent I've always thought was better
I'm quite
than
worried.
Dylan Gabriel.
I'm quite worried. I'm worried about where he is in terms of the offense that he ran in college to the offense he's going to run in the NFL, to the offense that I'm critical of that he might have to run in the NFL, to the coaching staff that he has that we are critical of in the NFL, to the offensive line that he'll have in the NFL. Now that he's probably used to, considering the offensive line he had to play behind in Colorado. So that maybe I'm not that worried. But of course, if I'm worried about the Browns and don't have much faith in the Browns, it would lead me to believe that I'm going to be worried when Shador Sanders plays later on this year. Can I get to the other thing that you brought up?
Yeah.
Now, we'll probably have to dedicate some more time to this later on. You just knocked it right out of the park there. Mark Shapiro's one win away from winning a World Series with a $250 million payroll, which is the exact amount of money that I've been telling people that if the literally exact amount of money that I said, hey, if you want to go after the owner, go after the owner, but at the same time, Like, if you gave Antonetti and Mike Chernoff $250 million to spend this year, they'd probably spend $250 million. I don't think that they're going out of their way just to save money, that there's $250 million available. I think they spend what's available to them. And now here you got Mark Shapiro, one win away from a World Series with he and Ross Atkins, who have a $250 million payroll.
Yeah, the symmetry in this story, and obviously it makes it so relevant to Clevelanders. I don't know how much Clevelanders are watching this World Series, and I do wonder, like, we're going to try to apply this to the Guardians, and what everybody says every time they rip the Dolans and the payroll is, well, if they gave Antonetti more money, look what they could do. And this is now the test case in their eyes. Now, the funny thing is, we've won more games, and we've won more playoff games than Toronto since Antonetti's been there. Like, we have.
Fans don't care.
It's a fact, but they don't care because now this is the World Series.
Yes, but my retort would be is that I use $250 million. They're still Toronto. They can afford that. Either they can afford it or they're just not going to spend it. One of the two. We don't have that at our disposal. So this is what, again, the problem with baseball. I know I hate to do it myself, but this is kind of the problem that you have. And this is why it is a good thing that you have Toronto that hasn't been in a World Series since '93, and you have the Dodgers who have international superstars and international flavor, and people want to watch them from all over the world. I don't think you really get the same with the Yankees because they don't have anybody like Shohei Ohtani. They have an American star, but they don't have anybody like Shohei Ohtani that brings in the global perspective. So the ratings for Major League Baseball when it comes to the world, 30 million people. You got 10 million people in Toronto, or you got 7 million people in Toronto watching. You got 10 million people in Japan watching. Like, it's a big, big deal. It's big for that, but overall, I think that's part of the problem, is that a team like Toronto, we just forget that, hey, they're spending $250 themselves.
Which is how much, as percentage related to us. What did we spend this past year? Did we spend 100?
Yeah.
Did we even get to 100? And then, by the way, our payroll of the players that actually played in the playoffs was like 60.
Don't even compare it. Don't even compare it to the NFL. There's no comparison. Compare it to the NBA that has its second apron, and who's the team that's spending the most money on their salary on the roster this year? It ain't New York. It ain't any of the teams in LA. It ain't Miami. It's Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. $392 million of contracts on their roster this year, on their payroll. That's where you compare it to. That's if you really want the true stuff where it's like, all right, you get to have your cake and eat it too. I know the second apron has made it really, really difficult, but that's the beauty. The NFL is the NFL. You got 53 guys on a roster. There's a lot of things you got to do. It can get watered down pretty quickly, but that's where it's up against it. With the NBA, good God, a Cleveland, Ohio, $392 million. I'm told we can't have nice things in this city. That's the comparison. Coming up at 9 o'clock, Jordan Schultz going to join us on the show. Schultz Report. He talked to Quinshon Judkins. There is some lines in the water right now about some other Browns not named Myles Garrett about possible trades. We'll talk to Jordan Schultz about that coming up at 9:01. Coming up next, our own Browns beat reporter Daryl Ryder. Where does he stand on all that? And how much longer will Dylan Gabriel be the starting quarterback for this football team? And could somebody else be coming in before number 12 to replace him? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. Take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
Not much longer. Anthony Lima for Diamonds Direct at the corner of Richmond and Cedar.
They listed as questionable for tonight's game at Rocket Arena against the Toronto Raptors. Get all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during the regular season by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Coming in hot, 9:45. It's going to be a good one. It's in my eye. The stuff is in my eye. Please let me take this off.
You have a duty and responsibility to the folks of Greater Cleveland to keep that on.
I'm 2.5 hours in. I might as well try to finish the day.
I am stunned. I thought this would be wreaking a little more havoc. Now he's blinking.
No, I'm but it's getting in my right eye.
You look like a pitcher who's been on the mound one inning too long and everything's running down into his
face. But
face.
it's only like the sixth. I still got 3 innings left to go.
Pull him, Skip.
You know what he is? The ladies that make their way down to St. Patrick's Day. And they just don't realize the amateur hour extent that it is, and they've got the mascara dripping halfway down. They've had a little too much fun.
My boyfriend sent me some really nasty texts. I'm starting to cry.
Yes.
My friend is trying to keep me in it. She's more of a mother hen anyway, so she's going to tell me I don't even need the guy. There's a lot going on.
We're getting hit on by older men who work at the radio station. You can understand what
Fat guys pushing him into me for whatever reason, saying, Daryl Ryder, brought to you by Shiven Jewelers.
Specific.
Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Hello, Daryl.
Hello, boys. Good morning.
All right, hold on. We can't see you yet on the 92.3 The Fan live stream.
Can you see us, Daryl, on the 92.3 The Fan live stream?
What are you dressed up as?
I am not dressed up as anything. I can see Ken, and yes, he is looking like the St. Patrick's Day after party right now with the makeup.
Somebody said I look like John Wayne. Many people have said I look like John Wayne Gacy. Thoughts?
Well, I would say you just look like more of an angry clown at this point.
That's every day. All right.
Is that the look you were going for?
I really do have to go get like a paper towel and dab to get my eye. So you got to ask him questions. You got to ask him questions.
Meanwhile,
I'll be right back.
Meanwhile, people in the chat asking, they thought Daryl promised to be Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs. All right. Anyway, Daryl, let's get to the stone cold truth when it comes to the quarterback situation. You heard Kevin Stefanski yesterday. Did that not sound like a guy who has absolutely no confidence whatsoever in his quarterback that supposedly was NFL ready because of all the college starts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a lack of confidence, but it sounded like someone who's just trying to cover for a quarterback who, has the vast college experience and the supercomputer between his ears that this organization really, really loved. But I still can't believe they made the pick. I still can't believe this guy is starting games for this team. But here we are, and so they have to make the most of it. For me, when Kevin keeps talking about, well, it's not just about one player, it's about all of us. Well, then, okay, what are you doing to make that player better? Because I kind of feel like Dylan Gabriel's gotten worse, Anthony, as the starts have gone. His best start was actually in London against the Vikings, and it's progressively kind of gotten worse. Now, some will say, well, the Miami game, because I think it was like 13 of 18, but he threw for like 125 yards in that game, okay? Let's be honest about it. He doesn't stretch the field. He doesn't elevate players within the offense around him. Certainly, yes, he could use a better supporting cast. There's no question about that. The receiving room is the worst in the National Football League by far. Also might be the shortest, but they also have one of the shortest quarterbacks in the NFL. So, it's it is what it is. And
playing youth football, we'd be kicking ass right now, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay, fine.
No. Listen, I expected them to be 2-6 at the bye. So, but it's how they got to 2-6 that I think is what's frustrating.
You've been blown out 4 times.
Exactly.
You're uncompetitive.
You're not competitive. Well, hang on, Ken. You're competitive for like a half and maybe into the third quarter. Then the whole thing falls apart on you. So, and that's just it's untenable. And they are playing worse than the 2099 expansion Browns or the 2011 Browns. This is worse. So, frustrating time for Kevin Stefanski here at the bye, but he's got to figure something out because they still have a tremendous amount of football to play.
All right, Daryl. So, given that we see all the issues that they have in this passing game, I don't know. We've all been in unison saying that we thought Shedeur had more arm talent than Dillon. At least that was our thought. I know you weren't exactly thrilled with the Dillon experience since you've seen him as a Cleveland Brown. Can you start to make a projection as to when we might actually see Shedeur?
I think that Dillon's going to get 2, maybe 3 more starts at least. They're not in a hurry to put Shedeur out there. They're not even.
It
giving
sounds
the guy...
like a prison sentence.
Well, I know.
It sounds
Ken,
like I got to spend time in county for shoplifting.
But does it feel like they're getting Shedeur Sanders ready to play? He's not even getting first team reps in practice. So they're not getting him ready to play.
No, because again, you all had limited. Well, you and I kind of thought about this a couple weeks ago. I don't want to turn it into a fight, Daryl, but it's like that's kind of how it works. Where it's like, all right, you got limited reps in camp. Now you have to be the starter. You need all the reps you can get. So I can't give any more reps to everybody else. Like every single one is precious, especially when
your starting quarterback's been so bad. He needs all the practice reps he can get.
Especially when we're trying to run 3 trick plays in one series.
I know,
because we got nothing else to do. We have no other recourse. We can't run regular plays because we can't execute.
And you can't. And your quarterback can't even execute the trick plays. He had to dirt one, and then the other got abandoned on the second or the third step.
The one I don't blame about Gage Larvadan just tucking it and taking off. That could have been even. I mean, it was pretty embarrassing. And maybe I should have rooted for the embarrassment so I have one more crazy memory. Maybe I should have done that. I'm not sure. Go ahead, Daryl. I apologize.
Well, I mean, listen, at this point, you're looking for anything that remotely resembles entertainment when it comes to this football team. And offensively, there's just nothing entertaining. Like I said, it's an unwatchable product offensively. And, hey, that's the hand that Kevin Stefanski got dealt by Andrew Berry. And it's why I really feel these two should be tied to the hip. If you're going to fire Kevin Stefanski, you better fire Andrew Berry.
Would you entertain? You had Charles Robinson. He went on 102.5 The Game in Nashville and said maybe it's like 3 first-round picks might have been offered by the Eagles for Myles Garrett. Would you entertain that right now? Because Lima and I kind of talked it out, and I said, you know what? I'd maybe entertain that in the wintertime, in the spring before the draft.
Right.
And I don't know if I'd do it right now because, the Eagles, they're probably going to be 27th through 32nd. I think in the wintertime, in the spring, I think a team will talk themselves into thinking that they're competitive, and we might be able to catch a team that's not going to be that great, which is drafted maybe 15th to 18th, somewhere in there, and that's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, those picks with the Eagles will basically be second-round picks because if they get Myles Garrett, they're going to be in the Super Bowl every year. So, I'm not crazy about that deal. Although I did say when Myles was going through his Super Bowl media tour, Bash the Browns tour, which everything he said was true, that 3 first-round picks is what I would ask for, and everyone thought that was lunacy at the time. But it's just one of those things.
I was one of them. You were right.
But like he's our future Hall of Fame players, so I get to name my price. If you want him, I'm just going to name the price. And at the time that was my price. So, but no, it is frustrating because he's doing Hall of Fame things and you're non-competitive in these games. So what good is Myles Garrett actually doing you right now other than selling some jerseys and giving you anything as far as a reason to come to games? And to your question earlier about Shedeur, Ken, they've got a stretch where they're going to play 5 home games in 7 weeks, and they're going to have to give fans reasons to come to Huntington Bank Field to watch this team. And I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the ace up the sleeve to do that because fans will come and watch Shedeur Sanders regardless of how good, bad, or ugly it might be, because he's that magnetic when it comes to fans. And I mean that as a compliment. He's a very popular personality. He's a very popular player. I don't like the idea of trading Myles at this point because I don't know it makes you better. They don't need picks right now. They need players. That's the other part of this equation. In March, they needed picks. They don't need picks now. They need players. So I'm hoping that whatever Andrew Berry does here in the next 4+ days or so leading up to the NFL trade deadline, whatever trades he's able to make, I hope they resemble the Greg Newsome for Tyson Campbell type of trade where you get somebody that can come in here and help you today. So I'm really thinking offensive tackle and wide receivers above 6 feet tall.
And also you don't have to pay them because they've already been paid. And it seems like as of right now, it's good value. I know that there's still truthers out there about Tyson Campbell, like, you just wait. I'm like, well, okay, but I got to call it like it is so far. So far, so good. What can, we've talked about Maz, and there's been a lot of people who have been like, you know what, he signed up for this, and that's it. Okay. He has lacked leadership over these 9 years. And I've been critical of that, and everybody has. What can he do to make this situation better? If you're not out of this situation, I know he has a no-trade clause as well. If you're not getting out of this situation anytime soon, what can he do to make this better?
Well, I am not a believer in forcing people to be leaders if they're not natural leaders, because the followers pick up on that. The followers pick up on the fakeness, if you will. That's the only way I can describe it. I just think Miles needs to go out and do what he typically does, and that's try and lead by example. And that is whether it's off the field or how he plays on the field. There was I think it was before the Miami game. He gave the pregame pep talk there that got everyone fired up. They went out and they ran the Dolphins off the field. Maybe that's what he really is naturally gifted at. But I honestly don't know, because unless he can go out and play quarterback, unless he can go play receiver, I don't know what else Miles can do other than have a positive attitude behind the scenes. That was something that always amazed me, like with Joe Thomas. He always had a positive attitude, no matter how bad it got, no matter which quarterback we were asking him about. He always had positive things to say about that quarterback and trying to give that player an honest opportunity to show whether or not they could do the job.
Yeah, and you know this, Daryl. I mean, he had to block for some real pure idiots.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of myself included, were like, please, Joe, just say it. Because then it's open season on that quarterback or on that teammate. I mean, he played with some idiots too. He played for a couple of goofballs as well. And if he would have said anything, it would have been giving us every green light in the world to go after that guy. But at the same time, he knows he would have made his locker room such a horrible place.
Absolutely. So I guess that's probably the leadership tact that I would be looking for Myles Garrett to take, because again, I'm not holding it against him that he's just not a natural leader. That just is who he is, and I'm a believer in people being true to themselves. And when they are true to themselves, they're their most authentic self. And when they're their most authentic self, you get the best out of that particular person.
All right, Daryl, quickly saw your big sheet with all the PSL prices for the new stadium based on the survey that is out there. Can they possibly be this high on the PSLs? The ticket prices seem kind of in line with NFL football in today's day and age, especially in a brand new building. So I think there's less of a complaint about that and more about, man, if you got to bake in the PSL price, per week or per year, it gets really cost prohibitive for a lot of folks.
Yeah, they certainly are pricing the average fan out of the lower bowl. There's no question about that. The most expensive, and they in the survey they try to present different options for each section in the new stadium, and they seem to take the tact of a lower PSL, higher season ticket price, or higher PSL, lower season ticket price. So it was one or the other there. And with the closest seat to the Browns bench, it's over $149,000, which I don't know who has that kind of money just laying around to pay per seat, and then you throw in another $22,500 for a season ticket per seat. I don't know who has that kind of money.
Oh, whoever owns Ken's Costume Emporium, they would have that kind of cash.
But the upper, but the nosebleeds, right? In the upper deck, a $550 PSL with anywhere from $1,250 to $1,500 for a season ticket. So basically, the average fan that maybe could afford the PSLs along with their season tickets, they're going to be up. They're going to be upstairs. The lower bowl, the mezzanine bowl, that's going to be all for the rich folks. The dog pound, it appears, is going to be standing room because in the survey where the dog pound is going to be, they divide it in two spots, the lower level dog pound, upper level dog pound. They listed those as standing room. So it looks like that wall that they're going to build, that steep wall for the dog pound, looks like they want those fans to be on their feet and obviously making a lot of noise. But yeah, the prices that the Browns proposed within the survey, and I want to be fair to the organization, they told me no decision has been made on PSLs. This is just part of their stadium planning process, and they wanted to get some feedback. I can't, based on text messages I've received, based on emails I'm receiving, based on what I'm looking at in my mentions on social media, Browns fans are not happy with the team when it comes to this current PSL structure and the financial increase, not only to season tickets, but the PSLs as well. But when you're investing $1.6 billion in a building that includes paying $100 million to the city of Cleveland, well, they're not running a charity. They're running a business, and they certainly are looking to recoup that. And based on this model, I just did some quick amateur math. They will recoup hundreds of millions of dollars with this current structure. So we'll see what they ultimately decide to do. Hopefully they lower those prices. More expensive than Tennessee, more expensive than the new stadium in Buffalo, for sure.
Daryl, brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Daryl, thank you very much for the good times. We'll talk to you next week. God bless.
You bet. Trick or treat. Happy Halloween, guys.
The dangerous one, Daryl Ryder. Brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers. Liz is sending me a picture of the deer in the front yard. They're toying with me. They know I can't get to them.
They're taunting.
They're taunting me. Coming up in 5 minutes. You want to get to this PSL thing again?
Yeah, I got some questions.
Tone's going after some
about
folks.
The PSL.
Tone Master General, Sexy Tone is going after him.
PSL time right here.
On the Fan. Daisy Dips. So tasty.
they seem to take the tact of a lower PSL, higher season ticket price, or higher PSL, lower season ticket price. The closest seat to the Browns bench, it's over $149,000, and then you throw in another $22,500 for a season ticket. Basically, the average fan that maybe could afford the PSLs along with their season tickets, they're going to be upstairs. The lower bowl, the mezzanine bowl, that's going to be all for the rich folks. The dog pound, it appears, is going to be standing room.
Tone's back. He was having a poop. Daryl, that was him on the PSLs. I'm glad you're back because I was like, this is Tone's segment. I don't know where he's going to take the PSL thing.
Well,
so I'm like, he better get back here.
And I'll tell you where I'm taking it right now, Kenny.
To the turlet.
So PSLs stand for Personal Seat License. As famously concocted across this region back in 1999 when the new stadium came in, there was a guy by the name of Bill Futterer who was the salesman for the PSLs. He came on local TV, local radio, local newspaper, local magazine, and he came in back then and tried to foist upon the public the PSL. And the whole argument.
So Cleveland was the first ever PSL?
Well, you know what? I don't know if it was the first ever, but it was among, they were pioneers. So hope you guys are glad to be the test case to see how it went. And
they had the first Monday Night Football game.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
PSL.
I don't know if they were the first, but they were one of the first in the country because it was like this new thing that he had gone from town to town. He was like the music man. He was going from town to town to try to sell these. So I'll just always remember this because I sat at home and said, "Why? What are you getting out of the PSL?" And their point was that the Browns have this waiting list for season tickets, which finally came to an end, over the last few years. Mm-hmm. But back then, everybody wanted in on the Browns' rebirth. And the thought was that not only do you get to purchase your ticket, you own your ticket for perpetuity. And then when you want, because the value of everything will go up, the thought was that this will be like a Rolex. The value will continue to go up. And when you don't want the tickets anymore, maybe your family just didn't want to be in the business of the Browns, you would then sell your PSL to somebody else. And then they would be the owners of that ticket forever. Well, what happened? People found that the PSLs were valueless. Nobody made money on their PSLs down the road. Maybe they did in its infancy, but why would you want to sell? Like, unless your whole family was moving town or you just didn't like your kids. And you didn't want to will it to the kids.
Well, you don't want to leave. No, I don't want to rule that out just yet.
Yeah. So
let's think about it.
I guess the only way I think these prices work, and Daryl went over the prices. Upper level corners, all right, $650 PSL. Upper level, 30 to the end zone, $1,200. Upper level dog pound, $1,800. Main bowl corners, yeah, $2,300.
So I paid $2,300 for upper bowl corner.
Yeah. So
they're my seats forever.
Well, they're your seats. My question is, and the only way I think this works,
but I have to pay every year on the season ticket.
Yeah, you pay for tickets.
They give you the first right to the season ticket of that seat.
Yeah, and so you get to own those seats. The only way I think this works is, what are they trying to do with the dome? What are the Haslam's truly trying to maximize with the dome?
Corporate.
Well, that and more events.
Year-round events.
Year-round events. Have the Browns clarified yet whether or not you own your seat for the Taylor Swift concert when she comes into town, or the Big Ten championship, or the bowl game, or
that would make it.
Now the Super Bowl we know is a different animal. You couldn't possibly own your seat for the Super Bowl because the NFL doesn't give you barely any seats for the Super Bowl. So that's a different item. But everything else, okay, now we're talking. If I own the Taylor Swift concert and then I get to either make my grandchild the happiest grandchild in Cleveland, or we sell the seats to recoup some of this. Now we're talking. Now the PSL makes sense. You own it instead of the ticket brokers that get 100 people to call into the hotline to buy up all the tickets. Instead, you own it and you get to sell it to somebody. Then the PSL makes sense.
Well, okay. What's the downside of it? I got to hear the downside of this because because I could just get mad and go, we can't afford it. Okay, well, hold on now. What you're saying makes it make a little bit more sense. Now you're still okay. So say I have the PSL. All right, 2,300 corner bowl. Taylor Swift comes to town. ticket value is what, $250? So it's up to me to buy the $250. I'm going face value. Face value. I don't know. I've never been to Taylor Swift. 300, 400.
I don't think it's as crazy as what people are paying on the secondary market.
Name me an effing price for the face value so I can help make my own point.
I think you're in the right
Tone.
ballpark.
Okay, so face value, not what people are paying on the internet, $7,300, like some people we know. If you're paying, we might be talking about different people.
Well,
so
doesn't
I
matter.
hope I don't get a nasty text. You laughed. I went, I don't know if you.
I've seen the crazy prices.
Anyway. It's $250 face value, right? On my $2,300 PSL. I get the right to sell that ticket, or I just get the right to buy that ticket? Is that what it is?
I would hope that you'd get the right to buy the ticket and then do with it as you please. It's not like you're selling the Taylor Swift ticket to Beyonce fans like you're worried about selling to Steeler fans or Browns ticket. Like, who cares?
Like, because this is weird, man. Because usually it's just, hey, you want to buy season tickets? Yes. Okay, here's the price. You want to buy season tickets? No. Okay, well, if you think about it in the future, this is like a... I was a kid when it happened in '99, so some of you guys might know better than me. This seems like I gotta get my lawyer involved. Like, I gotta read over some of the stuff here to make sure that it's my ticket in perpetuity. And then if you do take away PSLs at some point, if they happen to go bad, or what Lima said, which is true, but they go bupkis. Okay, what am I getting back on that? Is it pennies on the dollar? Are you paying me back for my original investment?
Because now
$2,300 in 2025 is not going to be $2,300 apparently in 2035. So if they go belly up in 2035 on the PSL, okay, am I getting my $2,300 back?
And again, Kenny, right?
Probably not.
Right? Probably not.
Why would you get it back?
And right,
I made my initial investment. If you're getting rid of the PSL,
you made your initial investment to have the right to a first refusal.
But then why doesn't anybody else buy it from me? I need to be able to sell it then.
No, you lose it and the next person comes in. The Browns or the Haslams own that, not you or anyone else. But all you're buying is right of first refusal. And then once you refuse that right, they find someone else that wants to buy it.
216-474-0092. That, if you want to throw it out there, throw it out there. Go right on ahead. Let me get to Sean in Houston. You're first up on the fan. Yellow.
Look, I opened up SoFi. I was one of the senior managers that sold seats in SoFi, and then COVID hit.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I appreciate that.
But
one of the issues is that with those, imagine owning the land, but you don't own the building it's on, and you have to pay rent every single year. You have no control over it, but you still own the land. And so you don't get access to anything. You get first right refusal, still have to pay full price. And then for anything, and their way of justifying it is your PSL, you can pay over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And like I said, nobody's ever going to buy the freaking thing. But most stadiums should do what they're doing with the dog pound, right? Keep an open section down low for fans and transfer everything over from the original stadium. But it's just a normal person's not going to pay, $20,000 a seat on a 10-year PSL license for $250,000. And I get what they're doing, but I sold the suite leases. It's all corporate. Suite leases are, $500 to $1 million per suite. And then you get access to everything, still have to pay. But you get access to every concert, every major event.
Right, the suites, yes.
The suites. But the regular ticket person, you get screwed over. It's too much money. And then at that point, you're just going to jack up the single game price astronomically because it's going to be hard to sell every single one of those. And then the NFL doesn't care about scalpers as much as other leagues because there's only 8-9 home games.
Well, and Sean, does the NFL even care? And the teams, do they even care if these buildings are empty?
All of their money comes from streaming rights, and it's the extra cushion on top to get people in the stadium. And SoFi is a perfect example. The only reason the Chargers partnered with the Rams had nothing to do with selling it. It had everything to do with making revenue on all the major suite high-end seats, all the secondary events that had nothing to do with the Charger fans. The NFL does not care. MLB has 80 home games. They care about scalpers. The NBA has 40. There's a built-in process for scalpers. The NFL has no built-in scalper process. So everyone across is going to do that, and it's going to screw the local fans in Cleveland.
Sean, thank you very much for the call. No, it doesn't sound great. 216-474-0092. I'm going to get back to this. Also, Lima and I have a bitter rivalry on our hands, and Myles Garrett for 3 first-rounders. Apparently, this was really discussed. And you have until Tuesday to make that decision, Andrew. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, coming in hot, 9:45 on the Fan. KC Roofing, kcroof.net. From a hole in your roof to a whole new roof, or a hole in your siding to a whole new siding to a whole
Will changes be made soon? When will Shedeur Sanders get his shot? Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
We're looking for a winner, so pay attention and try to win so you can be the winner. Enter the code word LAND, L-A-N-D at 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. Your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Cup. Yes, the Cup. The famed and prestigious Cup. The Cavs taking on the Raptors. Coming up. October 31st. Hey, that's tonight, 7:30 at Rocket Arena. Tickets available at Cavs.com.
Let's go.
Right now, the Cup.
Let's go. Play with some pride. Play with some pride. Damn it. Play with pride. That's all I got.
This is where you
Still
need
the
a
6 regular season
good,
games.
like, Bob Costas intro.
They had a Bob Costas intro
They
the other
did.
night.
Why didn't they have it for the first one? Why did
Because they probably just didn't think of it, and then somebody told them, or they probably couldn't get Bob Costas for something. Yes. And then Bob Costas is like, all right, fine, I'll do it. There you go.
Cup.
Guys are weird about that, man.
When does it end? The
People
Cup.
are weird. Like, John Carpenter didn't want to come back for Halloween 2. Yes, I know. I saw Halloween 2 on Tuesday, and I have Halloween on the brain. I get that. And it's Halloween.
It's still there, the Cup. That's the thing. You don't know when it ends. It's group play, and it's the Cup.
And you'd say, it makes sense. Bob, do it. And Bob's like, no.
That was my sign-off.
That was back in the day. No.
I was done with the whole thing.
I'm sorry. I didn't pick up your nonverbal cue.
It's not you. It's whoever's pressing the buttons.
Oh, I thought I was the one at launch.
Damn it.
Let's go. Get the Cup.
We've established the Cup.
Have we talked about whether or not if you win the Cup, do you hang the banner in the building?
Over a certain ex-Cavalier.
He
R.I.P.
is buried in Lakeview Cemetery. You better calm down with that.
They can bury the jersey with him. Only played like 20 games for the Cavs. The Cup.
You are a sick individual.
Anyway, Kenny the Clown.
It's in my eyes. I'm making it the whole way now. I'm getting to 10 o'clock with the clown makeup on. 216-474-0092. Jordan Schultz stiffed us, so we're not going to be able to have him on the show.
The insider.
The truth is the
who
truth.
stays on the outside.
There's only one way to say it. Coming in hot at 9:45. We know that you guys have
10.5 against West Geauga.
All right. You know what? I'm not getting into that conversation about it. You know what? I don't even want to get into it. I like the fine folks at West Geauga High School. I like Brandon Stewart, their AD. Yes, I'm a Streetsboro guy, loud and proud. I understand that, and I know they play tonight. But I'm doing this with some civility and class. That's what I'm going to do it. I know
we're
that.
not.
Well, I got to do that. Let this thing get off the wheels. That's why I gotta watch on YouTube. All right, so if you're just joining us, I'm gonna get back to the PSLs thing here in a minute. West G and Streetsboro are playing against each other in the high school playoffs tonight in round 1 of the what used to be 18-round high school football playoffs here in the state of Ohio. It's like Al Michaels and basketball having to do the postseason. This is round 1 of the playoffs. Streetsboro's hosting West G. Lima went to West G. He's been part of high school head coach search committees at West G. Now, I am from Streetsboro. I haven't had to be part of a search committee because Pete Thompson's a hell of a coach.
He's been so good.
So
yeah.
this is where it goes here. Now, I'm gonna handle this with class and dignity because there's a certain somebody over there that hasn't always handled things with class and dignity around me, and I know I'm saying that with clown makeup on my face right now, literally. So I just want a good, solid game, and whoever wins is whoever wins. I know the Rockets are a bit banged up, so I'm not going to sit here and talk any trash.
Sounds exactly like what a team not winning the game would say.
You're not going to bait me into it. It ain't going to happen.
Bulletin board material, ladies and gentlemen.
What bulletin board material? I didn't put any bulletin board material out there.
Head on over. Well, I was going to say head on over to the Wolverina, but that's not where the game is.
No, the game's over at Quinn Field.
You'd be at the wrong field.
Game's at Quinn Field.
You can go wherever you want.
In the borough.
I don't know. Have you guys been selling to any of the West G faithful? Or?
I have no idea.
What's the PSL situation in Streets?
Goodness gracious. The PSL situation. I mean, that's going to be in my grandchildren's name over there. You better believe it. So, PSLs. It doesn't seem... the only people I see buying PSLs are corporations. Like, that's it. Because if you're giving it to me there, and it's like, okay, excuse me, lower bowl PSL has to be corporation. Because if you're buying the personal seat license, which I know that this is done all over the place, and some of the prices do seem to be a bit high. So I imagine with the initial reaction, I think there's going to be PSLs. I also think that the price is going to drop, more than likely. But when it comes to that, again, you've already had a situation where the PSLs have been taken away. And so the previous generation that bought the PSLs are still Browns fans. They might have aged out of it, but there's still people who remember it, and they know, like, hey, you got rid of them once already. And if I'm paying $2,300 for the PSL before I even buy the season ticket, okay, what am I getting back on my investment? All right, what is this? So if you just take it away and I don't have the right to sell it or anything like that, like that's what kind of gets me.
It's what are you getting for all that money, all that extra money?
Contrary to what Sean had said, because I think you might ask him. I think they do. The NFL, if there's $10 to make, the NFL is going to make $10. So when you guys say they don't care about there being empty seats, they care about empty seats because it's a way that they could have made money that they're not making money. It's the NFL. If they can make a buck, they're going to make it. So they want the stadium filled. They want somebody in the seat. That's why I keep telling people, guys, I know the prices seem to be strong, but if they're not good, the ticket price is still going to be $7, roof or no roof. Upper deck tickets are still going to be cheap, depending on who you play, roof or no roof. It doesn't matter because they want you in the stadium. So it doesn't, when it comes to like concessions, all the other things that are there, you're going to have a giant plaza where people are going to be, you're going to have a Crocker Park basically around it, right? Mm-hmm. All that counts. It all counts. So as long as you're by the building or in the building, it's all a possibility. That's what it is. And you look at Patriot Place, you look at what they have down at Cobb County, not just the Big Boss Man, but also Truist Park and that whole neighborhood they have around there. Like, these are all tests for what other teams want to do. I look at it and go, guys, the ticket prices, now, the PSLs in the old stadium, they weren't coming back. Definitely weren't coming back. My whole thing has still been the same, and I've gotten some pushback on this, and that's fine, but my view has never changed. My view has always been the stadium's coming. I told you that the powers that be in City Hall did not want this stadium here anymore. They did not want the Browns here anymore. I've been saying it for years, which, by the way, now out of nowhere they get what they want, and now you're going after the Burke Lakefront Airport, which is something that people can get behind because they want it all there so they can build their own thing there, which, again, if they can do it, I'm very supportive of. Very supportive of. I just got to see him actually do it. But I'm not going to rip him. I'm not ripping him because that's got to happen over the next 15 years for crying out loud. So who knows if I'll even be around by the time that happens. So let's look at this logically step by step. We're going to get a new stadium. You're going to pay more for the prices. You're going to pay more for the tickets no matter what. My whole thing was people are still going to be able to go to the games. I don't know necessarily how often or how they're going to be able to facilitate that, but they're going to be going to the games. You might as well be comfortable and have a place to put your chair or be able to take your coat off in December because it's coming all over the place. It's in Kansas City. They want it. They're looking at what they have with the Las Vegas Raiders and Washington. They're getting it all over the place. This is what it is. There's only going to be a few places, and this is what kind of sucks about it because college football, I don't think it's coming to college football. So there you're going to have your Norman Rockwell, Ohio State, Michigan, late November, snow flurries, 22 degrees. That's where you're going to get it. But in the NFL, it's about maximizing opportunities to make money, which means maximizing the fan experience. And the fan experience... Kenny,
I just know that every fan is, as far as the fan experience goes, Every fan is turning back that survey saying, we don't want a PSL. So what's the point of the survey
understand that.
they come out with the PSL?
I understand that. But when they actually, when push comes to shove, are they not going to get the PSL? There are definitely plenty of people who are not going to get the PSL. Definitely plenty of them. But when push comes to shove, are they actually not going to get them?
There is one way. The Browns are good. That's the best chance they got, is that the Browns are good. Of all the conspiracy theories we hear, the one that actually probably makes the most sense is the thing that the Browns have on their mind the most, from a chief strategy officer all the way down, and of course ownership involved too.
Is being good by 2029.
It's making sure they're good by 2029.
It would change, because right now, I mean, if you play scheduled games and things like that, you got Buffalo and Pittsburgh coming to town.
Mm-hmm.
If you just cared about nothing but money, you're like, oh, okay, Buffalo and Pittsburgh fans are going to come here. I don't know. Pittsburgh, we'll see what their situation is by the end of the year, because it hasn't always been that way here recently. But Buffalo fans will come to town. If that's all you care about, fine. Tennessee and San Francisco, there's some old-timey San Francisco fans here. They're a good football team. You do have the DeBarlos and all the other things, the Yorks. There will probably be some San Francisco fans here. No Titans fans. Baltimore fans do not travel here as well as you'd think for a divisional game. It's 6-7 hours away in some cases. No. Barry in Traverse City, Michigan. You're next up on the fan. Hello, Barry.
Hey, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
Just a few things from the perspective back when we did this the first time. First of all, people went crazy because we had never paid PSLs. I started my season tickets in '88. But the one thing that Daryl hasn't had in his reporting, and maybe they haven't announced yet, is that back then they discounted us on PSLs based on how long you had been a Brown season ticket holder. So people that went way back got as much as 50% off of their PSLs. I had only been for 7 years, so I got like 17% off, which wasn't a lot, but it was something when you were buying 4 seats. But it was the opportunity for seat improvement is why a lot of people bought PSLs back then. I was in the upper deck in the old stadium, and for the last 25 years, I was in section 102 of the new stadium, the lower bowl. So there's some more stuff to come out. But the one thing I will say that when I talked to the PSL companies, I sold mine at 23 when I moved up here in northern Michigan. They said there's always a market for the lower bowl. The upper bowl, can be dicier, but the lower bowl.
See, Barry, I wish I could have given you more time. I'm up against it. Thank you very much for the perspective and the call. I appreciate it. I think that's what they're thinking. Again, like upper deck. Hey, if the upper deck's empty and you're not that great, you can deal with that. Lower bowl, you want people in the lower bowl. That's what they're showing the most. 216-474-0092. But they want as many people in the stadium as they possibly can at all times. That they're always going to want. Coming in hot, 9:43. And speaking of 2029, a big move could happen for 2029 that you would have to consider if somebody was willing to meet your price. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work in the free Odyssey app. And if you're there, watch us on YouTube. It's for free. 92.3 The Fan on YouTube.
Anthony Lima for Diamonds Direct. If you are watching on YouTube, the only thing I'm missing from this getup, Jason Sudeikis from Saturday Night Live, is the chain. I don't have the chain. Imagine the type of chain all blinged out like you could get it at Diamonds Direct, the corner of Richmond and Cedar Road. Now, most of you will be going there for engagement rings.
Listen to The Fan Rewind weeknights 11 to midnight. All the best segments from all our shows. You can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Hot 9:43. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. I understand I look like John Wayne Gacy today. I understand that. I didn't mean to set out looking like John Wayne Gacy. I just wanted to go as a radio show host, and here I am. And I apologize.
I'm waiting for the next monster edition of Netflix to come out with the sports talk radio show host who dresses up like John Wayne Gacy and then does what in his free time?
It's true. 216-474-0092. So, Craig, Charles Robinson was on 102.5 The Game in Nashville. This was yesterday. And it made us think, Lima and I, sometimes I don't need to just fly to an opinion. I think I just need to talk it out with tone. Can I do that? Yeah. I know I'm supposed to hey, this is damning and this is what it's supposed to be. But fleshing it out with you, it seems nice. It just doesn't make sense right now.
Rumor going around, and I have not heard it out of the Eagles, but I've heard it from a couple of other high-ranking people in other teams that are clearly on the phones, that, Howie Roseman and the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett, and how he'd give up 3 first-round picks for him, which, if it's coming from the Eagles, those are 3 late firsts. So it's even arguable when you get through the draft process, how many first round grades do you really have? Maybe you have between 14 and 18 in a typical year. And that means that if you're drafting in the late 20s, early 30s, you're not even getting a player that's really considered on your board unless you're lucky. But yeah, so that's kind of this rumor that's out there that, hey, how we'd really love a shot at him. But again, I was told by the Browns they're not interested in moving him.
It doesn't make sense, not because they're going to, we're going to turn the season around and we're going to win and you're going to be happy that Myles is here. No, I think that thinking about it more and more, you have to make a very serious decision about the competitive nature of your football team, not just for the rest of this year, because they're probably not going to be very competitive. Honestly, if I'm guessing right now, we had to do this for another show yesterday. I guess 4-13. And I know that they got 3 more very winnable games. I go, yeah, it's the Browns. They've already won. Because some people say, well, they're going to win a game that they're not supposed to. I think they won their game they're not supposed to against Green Bay. And you got at Las Vegas. Vegas is terrible. You have at the Jets. You've lost 12 straight road games. You're not good on the road. Your defense ain't great on the road. It's always been a problem. Defense travels. Not really on this team, got to admit.
For a half.
So
yeah, for a half. Maybe.
So you have, it doesn't make it any better when your offense is terrible. Right. It just makes it much worse. So I'm guessing 4-13 this year. But I consider it in the offseason because I got to see where's my offensive lineman, where's my veterans at. And I also have to consider what am I going to do with some of these young guys who I might want to keep around. What do I want to do? Does Wyatt Teller, this is going to be a bad comparison, stay with me everybody. Do you give Wyatt Teller an extension a la, this sounds bad, Jack Conklin?
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Because you might not be able to. I know Jack isn't necessarily working out. I get it. But guys, Wyatt is a tough guy. Wyatt's a good guard. He's had some ups and downs, and I think he's had to play with some calf injuries here and there. And I'm a Wyatt guy, so I'll admit that. But damn it, he's a good guard. Zach Zinter is not coming along the way you want him to. So now you have to make a decision. Do I give him that extension? Because I just can't replace him in the draft. I need other positions.
They could replace.
And if they are the best, I could. But do I really want to put that much pressure on it? Or is my draft pick replacing what my miss was with Zach Zintertone?
They could replace him if they didn't have to replace or look into the other 4 positions.
Exactly.
So I am to the point. I always thought they were going to trade Wyatt Teller until it became clear that they're in big trouble next season with their offensive line. Well, so now I'm like, they can't afford to. But Tony, are they going to try to talk him out of retirement again?
No. Look, that's it.
Is he definitely done?
Tony,
you've seen him. You see how he walks around the building.
I'm assuming he's getting back injections every week.
Yeah.
This ain't like long-term health, guys. This ain't good. And is he in the final year of his deal? That's it.
Can they promise him a PSL in the new stadium?
He's playing his ass off, and he is definitely. Joel Bitonio is one of the best Cleveland Browns you could ever meet. He's going to go out with pride. He's going to go out with, there's a saying, we're going to die with our boots on, and Joel Bitonio is going to do it. He is not going to let anybody say at the end of this where he might not be the same type of guard he was when he was in his prime, but he's not going to let anybody say, I went out with a whimper and he was just collecting a paycheck. Not a chance. Not a chance with that guy. He's a pro's pro. But I'm almost certain it's his last year. So you have to make replacements. So I don't mean to turn this into a Wyatt Teller conversation, but if you move on from Miles, the 3 first-round picks are great, and I'd like to stagger them where we'll see after the draft. As of right now, I don't think I need another first-round pick to make it 3, because if I'm getting it from the Eagles, like Charles Robinson says, it's going to be 28 to 32, somewhere in there. I'm guessing. So if I get 28 to 32 somewhere in there, that's not going to help too terribly much. It can help where I can get a guy at the back end of the first round. I would like to get, if I'm going to make that move, 27, 28, 29. Give me 6 first-round picks in 3 drafts. I stagger it out. I improve my chances. I can do that, but the cap hit's going to be huge because the draft picks don't match up with the salary. So I can't just trade away that salary and not incur that penalty. It's going to be so bad. And then you have to come out and you have to be honest with the fans and go, I got this young quarterback. Hello. But you don't have much else. And I don't even know if you can give Wyatt that extension. That's why he gets brought up. What are you going to do with Alex Wright? What am I going to do with him? And immediately, let's be honest. What does Alex Wright look like without Myles Garrett?
Well, are they dangling?
He's not a total product of Myles, but Myles is going to make. He's supposed to make other guys look better. That's why he's supposed to be who he is.
I've been asking you for weeks if Shelby Harris was a trade candidate. Who else on that defensive line? Is that
Shelby Harris is absolutely a trade candidate.
Alex Wright
because
of
this,
isn't?
Alex Wright would probably be a trade candidate. I would not be happy about that. I think we're coming to the light at the end of the tunnel on Alex Wright.
Man, Zagura loves him, right?
Yes.
I hear you guys talk about him all the time. Well, here's my only other thing.
I think Ethan Posick is a trade candidate. They're putting Luke Whippler at other spots on the offensive line. Now, it would be their luck that they would trade Ethan Posick and then something terrible would happen to Luke Whippler, but you're not going to not make trades because of what could possibly happen. So I'm guessing after the games on Sunday, when teams get their ducks in a row and we start to really figure out, all right, who's in, who's out, who's hurt, who's not. Yeah, David, Shelby Harris, I don't want Alex Wright to be one. Would I be surprised? No, and I'm not hearing anything on that. And this is a guy literally in a clown costume saying this to you, so I get this. I'm not hearing anything on that. I got no inside information on Alex. I wouldn't be surprised. Did I already say who? I said Shelby. I said David. I said Ethan Posick, I think, is in there. Alex, maybe. And that's about to the tippy top of what I'm thinking there.
I want to just also make this clear. Because every conversation we're going to have...
Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford, yeah. People are going to get very annoyed by this. The Miles stuff is not going to end this trade deadline.
It's not going to end this offseason, and it's probably not going to end next trade deadline.
Like, that's the one really bad aspect of what he did a year ago. Really, until the Browns are good. If the Browns are good, then we're done talking about it. But as long as the Browns look like this team that has these holes, that looks like it's in a rebuild, that there is some instability, and we're wondering how to fix all this, and Miles' frustration is just going to mount week in and week out. You thought him throwing his helmet and sitting by his lonesome was a big show. Guys, we already saw what a big show was. It was a week, 2 weeks, dominating the headlines at the Super Bowl. Basically making every team that has Super Bowl aspirations covet Myles Garrett and their fan bases talk about him. So what do you think is going to happen right now as the Browns are sitting here looking like one of the worst teams in football?
I think it's just going to get far worse. I think it's going to get far worse before it gets better. Now, I don't think I know Myles requested a trade before. I don't think he's doing the A.J. Brown thing and becoming a problem for them during the season like that. I think he's frustrated because they're not winning. A.J. Brown, they're winning. What are they, 6-2 over there in Philadelphia? They're winning. And you could probably get rid of some of that contract and bring in A.J. Brown. But if A.J. Brown isn't happy in Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts isn't the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's still top 7, top 10. If Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback and A.J. Brown is upset over that, can't imagine he'd be very thrilled with Dylan Gabriel the first week with the Cleveland Browns. So we're just setting ourselves up that way. You might get something off the dead cap, but you're still going to be hurting yourself. And A.J. Brown plays a different position that can't go out and wreck a game because he doesn't have a guy that can feed him the football and do that. Or Myles Garrett, I wish I could say he could go out and wreck a game, but you lost by $1 billion, it seemed, on Sunday.
He did
got
wreck
5
the game.
sacks.
In the first half, it was Myles Garrett, 6, and they had 9, right?
Yes.
Like, that was Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett made those two teams that really had no comparison. He made those two teams look very similar in the first half. And then what happened?
I know what I said on the Lindsay Rhodes commentary where she had said she would consider trading away Myles Garrett.
This was the offseason, right?
I didn't think you could trade away Myles Garrett. And part of this was last year where I think you were at an all-time low. The team was terrible. They were keeping everybody. You have a quarterback that people do not like at that time. And now I think that people are kind of waiting around to see what they have. And really, you're looking for some goodwill still. You're looking for some goodwill. Like that, when Zach and I talk and when we're on the air, like Zach has said it 1 billion times, they're going to do a lot of things before they have to play, not Shedeur Sanders, before they have to play Deshaun Watson. And I think they're probably going to do that because they know they don't want fans to. One of the things going around is that, well, they do it because they make you mad. They're not trying to do it to make you mad. They want people on their side. It's a series of Todd Margaret-esque bad moves that have set them up for this. But they don't want to make him any angrier, and people don't hate Myles Garrett. They love Myles Garrett here. You've already lost Nick Chubb. I know Nick's not killing it with the Houston Texans right now, but still, Nick Chubb was one of those guys that people looked at, and they knew they could set their watch to him, and he's beloved here. With Myles doesn't have it like Nick had it here. That's true. But Myles is also a cornerstone of the franchise and the greatest defensive player in the franchise's history. You don't necessarily just trade that in the middle of the season. Now, if you got to the end of the year and you got a clear head and you got another team and Myles has to sign off on it now, and I don't know if I could sign, if like Jacksonville wanted to do it again, am I going to be able to talk him into Jacksonville? No, he's the one holding the cards.
He's got the no trade, yeah.
Like I could definitely talk him into Philly.
Yeah.
But it's such a killer of a contract. It's a terrible, terrible contract that's going to hamper you to the point where you're going to barely be able to field a football team, even with the salary cap going up. Like you're guaranteed to get some natural relief with the salary cap going up, but you're going to be in a really bad spot. So you're going to have to go all the way young. Like people got to understand what's involved here. Yes, the salary cap's going to go up, but as far as adding anything in free agency, that's done. Paying some of these guys, you might not be able to do it because you're still paying the freight on Deshaun Watson, and you would still be paying the freight on Myles Garrett. So all you're doing, Myles Garrett, who's the greatest defensive player in the franchise's history, Tone, all you're doing is adding more years to Brown's prison. Throw on another couple years onto my sentence. I already got to deal with it with Deshaun Watson, and now if I have to lose Myles Garrett, there I am. If you came to a clear spot here, and this winter, this spring, the conversation is going to happen again. I'll open myself up to the conversation. You will open yourself. We have to. But as of right now, 28-32 this coming year, when I already have a second first-round draft pick, I don't know if that's going to be enough. I don't think that's going to be worth it because I'm torpedoing 2027, 2028. If I have Myles and I have my quarterback and my quarterback can actually get rid of the football and make reads, say they go out and Ty Simpson has a couple of things there that make me a little bit nervous talking to people. It's really the lack of experience that makes me a little bit nervous. Say you go out and you get Fernando Mendoza. That's a guy that a lot of people like, right? If I got a guy who can just has a strong arm that can get rid of the football and drive the ball downfield and be any sort of a vertical threat, and you got Myles Garrett, it's not too far of a climb back up to at least some respectability. Like that's the way you got to look at this thing. So if you have 2 first-round draft picks that are high, I might not need to trade Myles. I might not need to do that. So I think we got to kind of sit this one out, rationalize it a little bit, and then get to this offseason and see where we're at.
Meanwhile, Ken, 3 hours, 35 minutes in, looking like Sting at the end of Clash of the Champions, a battle versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Thank you.
Like it's still there.
Good one.
The makeup is still there.
I'm holding on, man.
But in about a half hour, it's going to be Ken's face and like nothing
Well,
left.
I'm doing it where I'm out of paper towels, so I'm like kind of cleaning myself up with my finger,
Do it with
and I'm
paper.
like,
Do it with some paper.
I'm doing it like on paper and stuff. Like this is getting ugly. I can write my name with this. 216-474-0092. Folks, it's that time of the week. Coming in hot. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. It's time to send in the clowns. Coming in hot. Coming up next on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Fanatic Sports.
tearing up stages across North America. On sale this Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Don't trust anybody with your Cavs coverage unless they have sports in their name. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
This is Coach Kevin Stefanski, and it's time for Coming In Hot.
We do the grand prize game.
For some Archway cookies.
Dylan Gabriel on third down. Takes the snap. Rolling off to his right. Throws it away. We have a safety. Oh, boy.
Surely there was a receiver in the area, right?
Unless you count Webster Slaughter watching at home, no.
Kenny,
You can run it or you can throw it.
Owen and I pulled up the Shockmaster because that's what I thought I might do next year. It's going to be too tough to do the bodysuit without sleeves. How's the bodysuit going to stay on, the fat suit?
Ooh.
And then I can't do the show with the bedazzled trooper helmet.
And the budget for the walls would go through the roof because you'd have to bust through a wall every
time.
segment, and his helmet would have to come off.
By the way, reminder before we do Coming In Hot, you guys are next. We're gonna do them fast and furious.
You better get to it, damn it.
They better be good. It's a Halloween edition. We've given you plenty of material, but just a reminder tonight, as a lot of people have been asking me, they weren't sure if this truly was designated a cup game.
It's a cup game. It's a cup game. The cup is here.
It is here, yes. And the Cavaliers are getting serious about winning this whole damn thing.
Okay, we ready for Coming In Hot?
We are.
Away we go. No, it's coming in hot now.
But it's after the music. We can't start until the music ends.
Can't wait till the end of the show so I can
Cup
take this
game
crap
tonight.
off my face. Good God.
Yes. Cavs 7.5-point favorites in the cup.
Really?
Yep.
Even with Jared Allen, it's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
Even with Jared Allen hurt?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey, happy Halloween, everybody. This year, my wife and I are doing a super cool couples costume. Here's a hint.
216-474-0092.
That was enough of a hint for me.
Back to the phones. Hello, you're coming in hot.
It was a dark and stormy Cleveland night. Andrew Barry was hiding from his media fright and pulling off a dastardly trick, trading Myles Garrett for 3 first-round picks.
It'd be the draft.
It'd be a monster draft.
A monster draft.
His laser eyes would flash.
It'd be a draft.
We'd cut our fans in half.
It'd be a draft. Wow.
It is incredible.
Oh, that's it. It's over.
Somebody has noted it's very troubling that the song Monster Mash isn't the Monster Mash. It's a song about the Monster Mash, which is not itself heard on the track, and it's fundamentally unknowable to us.
All right.
Really makes you think.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Progenators. We progenate the trading of any assets, and we damn good, too. But you can't be any geek with a sheet. Got to dance with the cap, if you know what I mean. Zig, not zag. Progenators! It was a primetime night, a primetime week. Myles G was at the bowl, trying to find a team. Talked on some pods, dreaming to contend. Losing with the Browns is coming to an end. In his office on the side of the Lou GB, on a mission trying to find Mr. Myles G. From Cleveland to Canton, ain't no need to freak. Going back up the Brinks truck says Andy B. I took the bag. I guess it was foolish. Saw them zeros in the line, so I said, let's do this. Saw Flacco at camp. I said, what's up? Then I blink and he's in Cincy, so I said, I'm stuck. These QB's looking old. I'm a glide and swerve to the rookies that I drafted in the 5th and 3rd. I'm the bigger, better things than a puny 6. I squeeze the Bengals for a 5th. I'm picking 26. I'm getting sassed. I'm breaking myself. We're down 3 scores. Can I give back the wealth? I got no rings. They got me on the bench. I throw down my helmet, said, damn, what's next? 96 to the cap. Flip a hit from 4. If we can wait till 26, we can save a bit more. The trade line's looming. It's a tad bit late. A, B, and Myles G have to progenate.
Happy Halloween.
You might need to close it down.
Holy cow.
It's up to you.
You did the whole thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Say the next stop is the AFC East Hotel.
Oh, my God. Everything about that was amazing. There
I
are
feel
some
bad for
creative
whoever's
people.
next.
There
I
are
know.
some creative people
They've
in this
stepped
city. All right. Well, the number landed on you. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Two things. One, I have a source in Wadsworth that let me know Miles Garrett had a Halloween party where he dressed as the Mountain and Dylan Gabriel dressed as Tyrion Lannister. And also the knock-knock joke for Ken, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Top.
Top who?
Topanga Lawrence was a part of the best TV show of the 90s. And you better believe it.
So I upset some people on the internet. Oh, I finally got makeup on my microphone. It took 3 hours,
It was
almost
gonna
4
happen.
full hours. So I upset some people. Listen, guys, it's not that Boy Meets World sucks. It's Corey Matthews sucks. Topanga was great. Sean was great. I mean, he had to play the cards he was dealt in life. Eric was great. Mr. Feeney was awesome. Corey sucks. Whiny, bitchy Corey Matthews sucked the whole time. He had no business having any business with Topanga or anybody else. Anybody else. The only thing he could hope for was anybody that Sean might have turned away and being the mother hen for Sean. That's it. Corey sucks. Eric should have taken care of him Michael Myers style. Okay, moving on. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Reckless speculation.
I didn't say the actor sucks. I said that the character sucks. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Here you go, Tone. I folded your PSLs into a sailboat. The SS Lima is ready to set sail. No, not in the sewers, no! Hello, Lima. I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown. Lima, you look sad. Well, I tried getting my name into the Dolan Family Trust. A bunch of ex-Guardians are about to win the World Series of Toronto. My brother tried to cheer me up, folding my PSL for the Browns into a sailboat and it washed down. Well, I have some PSLs and for you down here. Can you smell the dome, Tone? Take my PSLs, Tone. Take my PSLs. We can talk about how Jim and Pam are a terrible couple. Just come take it. Oh, and Topanga and Corey are a terrible couple, too. Take it, Lima. Take it. You'll flow, too.
He finished it. We got him out of there. We got him out of there.
He didn't have enough.
We can take 2 more. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Pink pony nipples, just because the Steelers lost. Pink pony nipples, bleeding because the Steelers choked. Pink pony nipples, aching because Joe Flacco rocks. Pink pony nipples, Ken Carman's got an Emmy in sports.
What did you win an Emmy for?
Sports. Do. Hello, you're coming in hot.
How come when I bought some small bags at Target, the cashier gave them to me in a small bag?
Give me a quickie. Go ahead.
R.I.P. Les. Hello, you're coming in hot.
The shows you do on Monday after a Browns loss are your best shows. That's how I want you, Carman. I want you mad. I want you real mad.
Okay.
Really?
It's my favorite one.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey folks, Ben Shapiro here. While Ken Carman has already been fitted for his red beret, it remains a mystery who Anthony Lima will be voting for in New York's mayoral race on Tuesday. Our own Matt Walsh has devised a plan to figure out whether Anthony will be voting for his fellow countrymen or a candidate that more aligns with his radical leftist ideology. In mere moments, a bowl of rice will be delivered to the 92.3 fan studios.
I got it. I hit it.
I thought about it.
I didn't like it. I hit it.
I get it.
I hit the end.
What?
I hit the end. I didn't like it. Nah, it's
What?
Friday. I ain't ended up in a no. Nah.
He used to play that that fake news reel.
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
A little too tight there. Ben. Hello, you're coming in hot.
I liked it.
Hey, Ken, is it true? Well, actually, you know what? You look like you were born at the Mayo Clinic.
I don't.
Is it a fat joke?
I think it's a fat joke.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Do you want him to wear Crocs? Do you want him to wear Jesus sandals? Do you want him to wear Buster Brown? Do you want him to wear track spikes? Do you want him to wear moon boots, stilettos, clogs, dancing shoes, bowling shoes, ice skates, Converse All-Stars, water shoes, black patent leather shoes, those shoes that have all 5 toes, galoshes, ballerina shoes, golf shoes, rock climbing shoes, moccasins, race car driver shoes, snowshoes, tap dancing shoes, penny loafers, saddle shoes. Just pick one, for crying out loud.
Did we pick one?
That was really good. That was a hell of a callback right there.
Yep.
That might have been the best one ever. This Halloween one might have been the best one ever. We've had some great ones. We've had some terrible ones. That might be the best coming in hot we've ever done. Thanks to Daryl Ryder for joining us. We're back tomorrow morning, 6 to 10 for Big Country. Did I say tomorrow? We're back Monday.
Yeah, you can come back tomorrow if you want.
We're back Monday, 6 to 10. Have a safe and happy Halloween. Have a wonderful Tall Boy Friday, my friends. Best line was, you've heard of Pennywise, try Quarter Pounder Wise. That was pretty good. We're back Monday, 6 to 10.
Emirates Cup tonight.
Emirates Cup tonight. Blessings to all of you.
The Cup.
Go Cavs. Have a wonderful Tall Boy Friday. Happy Halloween. Blessings.
Vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Hey, sounds good.
Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show. Bye, honey. Have a great day.
It's time for some commercials.